following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, your favorite show on the internet. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the Bombay bad boy himself, Big Red Nick Utah.
Glad to be here on this wonderful Thursday night. We got a bunch of things to discuss. A lot has happened this week. It should be fun.
Yeah, lots of stuff, lots of ass, man. I'm reading the chat. Let's go. Folks, join us in a minute for that. But let's say hello to American Ramrod coach, Kendo Slice.
Happy to be here. Wonderful Thursday evening, and hopefully the United States goes to Canada, what we already have been trying to do to it, and subjugate it on the field of ice as opposed to across the borders as making a state, and we win the Four Nations fuck off. Not that I care about it, but now I do because USA. All patriotic and shit, especially after the other night. I don't know if you guys saw this. The USA played Canada about a week ago, and within the first 9 seconds of the game, there was 3 fights that broke out. So
Yes.
they booed our national anthem, and needless to say, the Kachuk brothers took exception to it. So,
Oh, Canada. What will we do with you? Probably
make it the
take you over.
51st state, apparently.
Hey, there you go.
Which I'm 100% against that. I don't want to get political. We're not going to get political. But here's why I'm 100% against making Canada the 51st state. They have 10 provinces. We should make each one its individual state and jack that number up to fucking 60. That's what I'm talking about.
The 60 states of America. I'm down.
You know what, Kendo? I like the way you think.
Yeah, and since the stuff won't be like regional locked anymore, we can get the dressed all over potato chips and the zesty Morton Doritos. It'll be great.
There you go.
I'm 100% for that. Let's unify and toast over a glass of maple syrup to our new union. And jack 10 more stars up on that flag, baby.
Can we just make sure that Justin Trudeau is not welcomed here?
Oh, 100%.
That's the case that I'm
100%.
in.
Yeah, be like, hey, go hang out with your dad. Oh, wait, you can't because Castro's dead and your dad's totally not Castro at all.
Allegedly. We don't know if it's true or not.
So it looks like me and my fellow Ohioans are going to rise up to help overtake Canada. So I guess that's
it'll be you and General Green over there in Michigan trying to.
He's now General Green. That's his new nickname.
Dude, you know what we should do? For shits and giggles, because I'm pretty sure none of us actually really care about the idea of subjugating Canada. We should create some kind of like old timey looking thing where we tell like a little short story about the 4 of us being like leaders of the Continental Army that's trying to take over Canada. And we will make it look like Civil War pictures. I think it would be hilarious if we had like that. Where,
we can,
let's write
General
that and put it out as a
Green
joke.
Union blues and things like that, and all that stuff. And we just each week you could post a picture, and it's like a letter, like Dion, dearest Hillary, we are on the cusp of the Canadian border. The ruffians are abound, but I feel that with God willing, we will be able to take the summit and seek over into the borders and look at Ontario with our own eyes. I think it'd be great.
I do too.
Oh my god, folks! If you would like stuff like that, subscribe to our Patreon because that's where it's going to be first. But put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to put a 1 in the chat because I want that to happen. It's early.
Yeah, if you're a Canadian and you're along with the idea of having a joke about the whole thing, I think you should put a 1 in the chat.
Speaking of jokes, folks, I have the best joke ever here on the channel. You guys ready? I have a case of Sherry Cocktail.
Yes!
You did it!
I told you I would. So here they are with an Ollie's sticker to show you that Ollie's is real. I don't have a warehouse where I put a random bunch of Hasbro toys. But yes, this was made in Vietnam. All right, it says it right here in the box. There we go.
Good old Vietnam.
Charlie made the Shuricopter.
I feel like that's just a little bit of punishment, even though we're technically friends now, for them to say, ha, we beat you in a war. Here's some Shuricopters we've made for your country.
You know what I'd love to do, Nick? You have the skills to do it. Maybe you could help me. We need to take old school and we need to green screen every time they try to give the bread maker in old school. We need to green screen a case of Shurikopters. Like, I would love that to just be the gift that kept getting re-gifted.
Oh yeah,
Can you
we
help
could
me make that?
we could totally do that.
All right, folks. So we'll play,
It might look a little janky, but we can make it happen.
it's a Shurikopter. You can't get much jankier than that, Nate. Come on now. So, folks, I will unbox one of these later in the night. I
Hey,
guess. If you want to buy one, I'll autograph it and send it to you. Oh man, the Shurikopter. So
Okay.
awesome. So it comes with an action figure. We'll have something to melt later.
Well,
So-
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, we'll have so much fun with it. Nick, don't worry. I got one for you too. The
Oh,
whole
thanks,
case.
buddy. I can finally sleep at night with my Shurikopter.
How many Shurikopters do you think it would take to make a comfortable bed?
0, because that sounds terrible.
I think, you know, in those old movies, they would show dudes like falling off of a building into a bunch of boxes and crash through it. I think they should replace those boxes with Shurikopters because I feel like this is less valuable than an empty box. So,
I mean, you'd be right. I mean, they can't give them away. We've had several videos showing them shredding the toys that don't sell, and turning them into just plastic bricks, because what else are they gonna do with it?
well, Ollie's told me what they do with the leftover toys. So, what happens is anything
Please
in
tell
the
me they
store.
send them to Africa with the Super Bowl losing shirts.
Is there an African charity for children's toys? We should troll and just send them all this Black Panther.
Be like, hey, congratulations, kids. Here's your Chiefs three-peat shirt and this Shurikopter. Isn't it great? They're going to think Shuri is like this great hero, and the Chiefs somehow actually won the three-peat. And be like, nah, neither one of those things have happened. Meanwhile, those kids' parents are sitting around thinking the Buffalo Bills are the greatest team of the 90s. So
Fair enough.
Oh man, wait, we went away. There,
Oh, God.
nope, now it's just me. Nope,
Nope.
there we go.
don't like that.
Ah.
Yep. Hey, wait.
What is happening?
Oh my
Go
God,
back
Jeff
to the
is-
normal
Jeff is-
view.
Jeff is drunk at the wheel. Jeff is
Yeah.
drunk at the wheel.
Your
I haven't had anything to drink.
unprofessionalism is showing.
Bullshit.
We definitely
Whatever.
don't
We're
look
here
like
for
we've been
now.
doing this for over 7 years.
7 years, buddy. This is year 10. You've
It
only been
definitely
on the
doesn't
show
look
for
like
7
we've been
years.
doing it. Yeah, well, I don't count BK time, okay? It's AK
poor
time.
Kenzo.
Can't-
Well,
you can't say that. You can't say that at your job. Okay, calm down.
This is year
yeah,
7
you can't
AK.
say that.
Folks in the chat, if you're listening, can you run in on a Thursday night at your work and say, hold up your phone showing that the podcast is playing, be like, yeah, it's AK time. I feel like
I don't think that's gonna
I'm not
work for
getting
you.
any
I mean,
No.
some jobs, I'm sure they'd be fine. But yeah, if you're, some it ain't gonna work.
So, folks, thank you. We have all kinds of topics to talk about tonight, including the word of the day. And like I said on the High Council on Tuesday, Wokebusters is on its way. I got the message from the printer, the FedEx shipping, all that stuff. It'll be here in 1 week from today. So with, a window, I'm expecting next Saturday to be my fulfillment day. Wait, is next Saturday the 1st?
Yes.
It would
Yes,
be
it is.
next Sunday would probably
Oh.
well, no, I could probably
No,
I'll figure
I
it.
think next Friday is the 28th, which means next Saturday is the 1st, because Jeff, Black History Month only has 28 days. Once again, we're
I
shortchanged
feel
like everybody
spared.
else.
Oh, jeez. Well, also, ladies and gentlemen, remember our Oscar, our Oscar
Lampoon Party.
Yeah, the Lampoon Party, coming up Sunday, March
1st.
2nd.
Or second, yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's going to
Well,
be a
yeah.
very busy week because I'm going to try
March
to
2nd.
March 2nd, March 1st, March. Who gives a damn? It's the
Yeah.
Oscars. We're here to make
So,
fun of it.
if you hate the Oscars, but you want to hear four idiots get drunk and talk about it, tune in.
Oh
should be
yeah,
fun.
we
Good
should.
day. What day
We'll have
is
some
that?
special drinks made, Nick.
Sunday.
Next Sunday?
Yes.
Yes,
So March the 2nd.
correct.
Oh, I just realized I'm really busy that day.
Yeah, watching the Oscars with us. Thanks.
Okay.
Trying to
All
get
right,
out of
so-
it.
So
Why
kind
couldn't the
of
fire burn down their academy building or whatever it was?
No, that was just the most of their city.
Listen. We're not that lucky. We're not that lucky.
Did you notice that the Hollywood fire or whatever that one fire by there got taken care of real quick? They're like, oh no, our legacy.
Because they used all the water just for that. Everybody else could fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's gonna save the Brauman's Chinese, TCL Chinese Theater and in the giant Ghirardelli store across the street? There is a Ghirardelli store across the street from the theater, by the way.
Yeah, but it's gonna be funny when those people have to wait 2.5 years to get all their permits to even start pouring the concrete. It's gonna be hilarious. Once again, Gavin Newsom will be the mayor of U-Haul land, and just they'll all be leaving for like Vegas or something.
Oh God,
he already is the mayor of U-Haul land.
Which, yeah, because I see tons of California license plates around here all the time.
They're coming to party.
I want them to go back. You can ask my wife. Every time we are stuck at a stoplight, or one of them won't turn or do something that I would rather they did do, because that's what good driving is supposed to be. Usually with some kind of get out of the way and expletive. Usually it's followed by go back to California and fucking stay there.
Absolutely. Keep
Dude,
them.
Yeah, no, I've seen a couple, and whenever I've gone back home to Gallenberg, I see a couple there now, and I'm just like, why are you here? And they always see whenever they see me, they seem very happy because they're like, oh, a colored person, you must be nice. No, I'm not. I'm an asshole.
You're meaner than anyone I've ever met, Nick. Like,
thank you.
You're on that line of like irredeemable. So I want the audience to know.
You're too kind.
He does. Okay. He does say some really horrible shit. If you want, I can show you our private message.
Go ahead, do it.
Swallowing your soul is the least evil thing Nick will do.
Yeah, I mean, I post some pretty spicy shit in there back to Nick, but I mean, at the same time, it's me. You're expecting me to be like that.
Kendo, did you see that meme that you posted went nuts on our Twitter? Woodrow Wilson with the time machine. Didn't you post that to our group?
Oh, you guys posted that on the Twitter?
Yeah, that went like not viral, but it got like tens of thousands of views on Twitter.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm proud of that one. I figured you guys. I saw that on one of the groups that I'm in that celebrates Western civilization, and that one actually made me laugh. I saved that. I'm like, I have to send this to the guys because they will understand the humor here.
We do, and thousands of other people enjoy it as well.
Oh yeah.
Now we have some other humor, guys. We have a word of the day from Shrubbles08. We should just do a sponsored by button for Shrubbles08. The word of the day is ass man. I know it says Jass man, but we know what you really want to say. So his titles are Hot Tub Ass Man Machine. A few ass mans more. Ass man versus boob man. The internal struggle. Easy ass man and how Stella got her ass man back. Is Angela Bassett and how Stella got her groove back?
Yes.
That's awesome that we're going to talk about her next.
She's Stella, I think. I don't know. The first few sound like gay porno titles, but it's fine. They're funny.
I don't know. Ass man versus boob man doesn't seem like a gay porno title. There's never mind. I'm not going to say it. How about ass man forever?
Ass man forever. That's fine.
I mean, just stick with Cosmo Kramer. He was the ass man according to his license plate. So I mean, that was brilliant all on its own. But let's see, a fistful of ass man.
A few ass mans more.
Yeah, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Ass Man. That's a totally different movie.
Beverly Hills Ass Man.
Yeah.
Or Ass Man Hills Cop.
There you go.
Yeah, let's see. Return of the Ass Man.
No Country for Old Ass Man.
Yeah, there will be Ass Man.
Ass Man and the Bandit.
Yeah. Dr. Ass Man.
It's a mad ass man.
You only ass man twice.
Low down dirty ass man.
Fine, since we're doing those types
dirty,
of movies.
Rotten ass men.
Menaced ass man to society.
Yeah.
There you go. The good,
Don't
the bad,
be an ass man to society.
The good, the bad, and the ass man.
Yeah. Well, we only have one episode left in Black History Month, so we should turn black movie titles into that.
Boss Ass Man?
Out of respect.
Boss Ass.
Boss Ass Man's my favorite movie.
Nick, do the opposite of that one, Nick.
Ass man.
Listen,
The sheriff is here.
listen, that card is not here right now. I think it's been lost
Just
in the
say
mail.
ass
Right?
man, Nubian.
I'm right here, buddy. I'm gonna give you that pass. Look it. I'll write on the
Sure,
back of a
definitely say
WCBS business card. Here you go,
Oh,
Nick.
thanks. I'm gonna
You can say that
say
word 5 times during the month of February only.
I mean, you only got a
Unless
week and a
it's
day left. You might just want to get it all done tonight.
Yeah.
Just sing a Ludacris song from the mid 2000s.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's true.
Or anything by NWA.
Yeah. Well, not anything. Express Yourself doesn't say that, I don't think.
No, but well,
That's
if
all.
you do Straight Outta Compton, you'll get all 5 of those done, I think, within the first 2 stanzas. So you should be good.
So yeah, Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube from a gang. Yeah, attitude. Yep, sawed off. Yep, okay, got it. Yeah. Ass man's with attitude. There we go. Or
Yeah.
NWA where the ass man's the A.
Nubians with Ass Man.
Yeah. Thank you, Shrebbles08. Folks, send your Ass Man titles in. Hold on. Keely Chow went nuts earlier in the chat. I want to
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
some
yeah,
love
I
to
know.
everybody.
I saw like a bunch of them in the beginning.
Keely was ass manning all over the place while we were getting ready to start because before you guys got on here and I was just sitting here killing time, it was just Keely Chow, Keely Chow, Keely Chow, Keely Chow. I'm like, damn, Keely, you're going nuts over there. He really
I mean, they're
likes
all
being
good
an
ones,
ass man.
too. The Ass Man Who Loved Me.
Yeah. For one night.
Ass Man versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. Or Batman versus Ass Man, your choice. Ass Man begins, Ass Man lives. Folks, we appreciate you guys.
The
we
dark
got a
ass
bunch of-
man.
And Nick, all these ones came in.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I don't remember what we were wanting for, but people want it, so just remind me.
I don't recall.
So, folks, thank you for all of your Ass Man titles. Keep sending them in tonight. Flying blind on a rocket cycle. That's a fun time. Jeff, do the folks at Ollie's cheer when you walk in? They recognize me, some of them. Now, the people at Ollie's don't know I make videos about them because the people that work at Ollie's aren't really the type of people that would watch our videos because a lot of older ladies work at Ollie's. But every toy store, those people know the Ollie's videos. So anybody that watches Ollie's videos knows me, but people at Ollie's are just like, unless they know me, like the one lady does. She gives me all the information I need. She might know because I think I tell people I'm not real secretive about it. I'm a giant dude walking in. You think I can like hide in the corner?
You're not exactly inconspicuous.
No. I just walk in my, I don't know, either a black sweatshirt or something brightly colored. And I'm just like, filming the toys, walking in and out. About 10 minutes. I got recognized the other day when I was filming one. I gave the guy a shout out in the video. So there you go, Mr. X. Shout out to you again. Folks, if you ever see me making an Ollie's video,
Mr. Ass
come
Man.
say hi. Mr. Assman. Pew, pew. By the way, folks, check out Billy Gunn's theme song. I'm not just randomly spouting butte butte because I'm having a seizure. That's how the theme song goes.
He likes to love him. He likes to hug him. He likes to squeeze him.
I love to love him. I love to kiss him. I love to shove him. I love to stick him. Love to float him. I love to watch him. I love to pick him, and I'm gonna kick him. I'm an ass man. Those are the words.
There you
God
go.
damn.
The
That's a
90s,
20
folks, if you don't believe us, really were a unique time.
Everybody was happy. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, because we're post the Berlin Wall fell. We didn't have anything to really worry about for a couple of years, so it was that weird window of like, we can just relax. It was like, terrorism is a thing we talk about in our movies. Oh, the president's airplane getting hijacked.
Oh my God,
That's
you're right,
just a
dude.
movie.
You're right. There were so many like hijack and terrorist movies back then. Holy crap!
And then suddenly they stopped for some reason. I'm not sure what that reason was, but
Well, they
something
had-
I
they
wasn't
had, like-
supposed to forget.
They had like
It's
a
Tuesday
10-year
morning.
run. That was really good, and then we had to stop.
They didn't run
now-
for 10 years, Nick. It was just one after. Never mind.
And now that whole event is just a joke that the kids try to play off these days, and I don't get it.
I had a conversation with somebody that's like in our age group talking about that too. They're like, I don't get why they find it so funny. It's not.
Well,
It's-
for
yeah.
instance, this morning, because I work with the Utes of America, I didn't have to message Dion about this one because last time I had to message him and say, "What the hell is O Block, and why do kids keep asking me if I'm down with it?" I figured Dion would know. He did. So first period, sitting there, kid that I love to dislike because he's actually a likable kid. He's just an asshole, which kind of like me. And he's sitting there. He's like, "Mr. H, yeah. Why were the Twin Towers sad?" And my response was, "Oh, a 9/11 joke. How original." And it just stopped right there. Like there was nothing after that. He just shrank like a violet. It was beautiful.
Oh, I love hearing those stories because they try to get one over and you try to be funny. You're just like, listen, kid, you're not funny. Let's get the work done.
From what I gather, just based on my experience for the last few years, for whatever reason, using 9/11 or evil Charlie Chaplin as a punchline is supposed to be funny. And if you think I'm actually really, folks, mean evil Charlie Chaplin, no, just a dude that had a mustache like him that existed, that did some shit during the 40s. 1940s. Not in his 40s. I mean, he probably did that too. But for some reason, that is a punchline to them. That is just irrevocably hilarious that you're just supposed to be like, oh my God. Like anytime we were outside and a plane was flying by, because we live by 2 big airports, kids would point their fingers up, go, hey, look, 9/11. I'm like,
Did we ever look into the sky and say, hey, Pearl Harbor? Or like, no, it's the equivalent of that.
Like I said, that's the part. Folks in the chat, look, if any of you is in tune with the Utes of America, not on the level I am, because there's a barrier between me and the Utes where they want to tell me about their culture and I don't fucking care. And I tell them, no, I'm not interested because I don't care about the Rizzler or the Skibbities or any of the other hibbity dibbities. So just leave me alone. We got it better than you do, but I'm not exactly sure why that's a joke or how that became a joke or anything like that. Not that I'm like, oh, you can't joke about things like this, because I was on a pub trivia team probably about 5 years after it happened, and our team name was called WTC Skydive Team. So I am not one of those people. I take gallows. I'm macabre. I will make gallows humor jokes. So I'm not offended by it. I'm offended by it as somebody that likes to make good jokes and make in funny things and is a fan of comedy. As a person like that, those jokes offend me because they're just terrible.
That makes sense.
There's like nothing thought out about it.
Well, folks, we have a message from our friend Stephen
speaking
Kraft.
of jokes, James Bond.
I know, right? We're about to make a bigger joke. Well, I have a take. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me read this message and then give everybody the update on the situation. So Stephen Kraft, thank you very much for your generous super chat. I know you're excited about Woke Busters. He said, Amazon's James Bond in Bloom the Balls, The Spy Who Loved Men, Mansplainer, Moctopus, Dr. No Means No, and Jeff's Sorrow Never Dies. I'm taking a picture of that one. That's great.
Oh my God. You should make fake posters when like the new James Bond comes out and they can completely shit the bed.
Well, look at what Kingslayer just posted on there. I think that should be one of the posters.
I'm taking a picture of that one too.
Kingslayer, you win the internet for tonight. The Living Daylights is my new favorite James Bond movie.
Folks, you're going to have to work pretty hard to beat that one.
That's a good one.
But, Steven, since you brought this up, so folks, I'm working on the video, meaning like it's pretty much ready to go. I just got to finish a little bit of editing, so I'll put that out early tomorrow. And then I got to talk about Hasbro, because guess what? All those toys that we talk about, all this stuff, their stock numbers came out and they went down. So are you
really?
surprised?
You don't say. You mean they're not selling anything anymore? Who would have?
Can I tell you something?
I can't believe that at all.
They are doing so poorly in terms of their partner brands that Star Wars doesn't even get mentioned anymore. It's like it doesn't
really
exist. Yeah, they don't talk like Star Wars is just something they have to do. There's no validity to this, but like I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel's like, hey, or Disney's like, look, you pay full price for the Marvel license, we give you a cut off the Star Wars license. So it's like, I mean, that's the only way you could make a profit is if you could make Star Wars toys for cheaper, but probably not.
No, because isn't the Marvel line like the I forget, there's one Marvel line that everybody goes like crazy for that I don't know if people still are buying a lot of them.
The Legends?
Yeah, the Legends, yeah.
Those are the ones that are at Ollie's.
Never mind.
Yeah. Now, not every character is at Ollie's. Like Spider-Man does not show up there. X-Men, traditional, Wolverine, Daredevil, like the big Marvel characters do not show up there. What does show up there are a ton of the B-list characters and characters nobody asked for, and the overproduced characters. So like America Chavez or Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel are all at Ollie's. Nobody wanted those. So
that makes sense.
Let's talk about the James Bond on the screen because, well, our friend Stephen Kraft sent in a very funny and mean super chat, and now, well, I got to deal with it. So, folks, as of today, MGM Studios has assumed full creative control over the James Bond franchise. Now, it used to be that, well, there goes my door. It used to be that the Broccoli family ran the Bond franchise, and they have had it for a long time. Back in 1962, Dr. No came out, and Bond was produced by Saltzman and Broccoli. There were two guys. Then, after the man Saltzman tried to buy the Technicolor company and use his stake in James Bond as collateral, and the deal fell through, he lost out on his half of the James Bond rights, and those rights were sold back to MGM. So that's why MGM always makes Bond movies, and that's why Broccoli is the only name on it. That's what went down. Well, in 2022, when Amazon purchased MGM for almost $6 billion, that too came with the other half of the James Bond rights. And for months, we've heard arguments about how the Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson are so angry with the way Amazon handles things. And now, as of today, they are officially gone. Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli have stepped out of any kind of creative control, meaning Amazon can do whatever the hell they want. The Wilson G. Broccoli connection, they all get paid. They're still owners, but they have no creative control. So for the first time ever, that family has nothing to do with James Bond. And now you might say, what about Never Say Never Again, Jeff? Never Say Never Again is a weird situation, which is a topic for another time. But this is big news. Now, a lot of people have been going on and on about, oh, this is going to ruin James Bond. James Bond's going to get this. James Bond's going to go that. James Bond's been ruined. I don't think you can get it any worse than it is now. You might think, oh, but Jeff, they'll make him a gay transvestite, blah, blah, blah. He's fucking dead. That's worse than anything they can do. They killed the dude. But one thing you
What if they make
remember,
him a zombie transvestite?
then I'm on board. That's like, what if Baron Samedi from Live and Let Die brings him back? That's a movie I'll watch.
That'd be good. That'd be pretty awesome.
Live and let transition. There you go.
I don't know. I like Never Say Gender Again, Kendo.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm like, what could it be? All right. But yeah. That would be a good story, actually. Baron Samedi comes along, old as shit, because he gets away. They don't get him.
Mm-mm.
And he, finds James Bond and, does some weird ceremony, sacrifices a chicken, Popeyes or KFC. It doesn't matter. And, they bring back Zombie Bond. And they use him. Oh, they bring back Zombie Bond, and then he goes to work for the KGB.
Ooh.
Folks, if you're listening at home, I just wrote a better plot line to a James Bond movie than they've written in 20 years.
I have good news for you, Kendo.
Yeah.
In about 8 years, James Bond goes into public domain. We should write that story.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, in fact, we should get ready we should start making our own spy comic book series.
Yeah.
So
Nick,
when
get my typewriter. Let's get started on this.
You're a typewriter.
I didn't tell you guys this. I'm on board with our spy book, but I accidentally came up with a plot for Wokebusters 2 today. So I'll tell you off air. It won't be 100 pages, and it won't take as long as the first book, but I might, late next year, early the year after that, I might have to do Wokebusters 2, only because I came up with a really good premise, and I'm really inspired. And I'm like, damn it, I wish I had it, ready right now, but I gotta wait. I gotta write the damn thing.
No problem.
But I never thought I'd do more Wokebusters, but apparently inspiration struck. And
Just when you thought you were out, it pulled you back in.
I guess all the excitement of it finally being here, it was a journey. It's done. Thank God. I'm done. I'm free. Now let's start talking about the topic though at hand. Now, folks, I am of the belief that Amazon, while they won't change the game, somebody else having control over Bond will be a good thing, because I've been a Bond fan for over 30 years at this point. I have started on James Bond Jr. back in the early 90s. I have loved this character and his adventures most of my life, almost my whole life at this point. So I'm in. What I don't want is to see depressed, deadbeat dad, insecure, I'm ready to kill myself James Bond, which I already saw. To me, they've made the flip. Hell, he's blonde. That's wrong too. Everything about Daniel Craig on screen was wrong for James Bond, and I'm glad he's gone. Thankfully, they killed him off, and we're going to get this new version, but I don't think it's going to be anything worse than we've had. People Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli want to preserve the James Bond legacy that they've ruined. And I think a company like Amazon, while they'll definitely mine it for what it's worth, I would rather have it mined for what it's worth than never get a James Bond movie. It took 5 years between the last one and the one before that, and they all had huge gaps. Daniel Craig was technically Daniel Craig is still James Bond since no one's replaced him. It's been 20 years, longer than anyone. We've been stuck with this chucklehead around as the face of James Bond. Every other dude's had a shorter run and a better run, in my opinion. So for a lot of people in the chat that are worried, like, this isn't Rings of Power. This is James Bond. And there's really no CGI to do, none of this, none of that. Just make a movie and make some goddamn toys. End of rant. What do you guys think of this?
Kendo, oh no, Kendo's away. I hate to be the the bearer of bad news, but I think you're wrong. I think Amazon's really going to screw this over because I mean, look at Star Wars, look at Marvel, look at all that stuff, and also you said Rings of Power. I mean, like these big corporations have these franchises and they just turn them into content. They only turn them into content, and that's terrible because we want films, we want cinema, we want movies, we want excitement, we want a reason to go back to the theater again, and we haven't had that we haven't had anything like that in a really long time, or anything that's worth going to the theater for and seeing it over and over again. And unfortunately, I think James Bond's going to fall into that category. I feel like Amazon is really going to milk it, but in the wrong way. They're going.
Now, what do you think is milking it in the wrong way?
Like Star Wars, where they're gonna have weird spin-off shows and weird spin-off movies, and like they're gonna have Moneypenny's like spin-off, and then like his CIA buddy, he's gonna get his own show and his own
Felix Leiter.
Yeah, you're gonna get Q having his own origin story and series and spinoff. Like you're gonna get things like that. They're really gonna do that. Unlike the things we had when James Bond, when we were like coming up and watching GoldenEye and the Pierce Brosnan era, which was a great era, a wonderful era. And you had alcohol endorsements, you had watches, you had suits, you had events, you had the whole nine. Everything would come out for it, and it was so awesome to watch that. It was so great. Amazon has that reach. They can do those things, but I don't think they're going to put that into James Bond because they think I think the reason they did this is because they think it's dead, and they just kind of want to have the back catalog and charge and have the movies and stuff so they can charge everybody for releasing them out to Netflix or whoever else they have for that. That's really what they want to do. I don't think they want to make a film or a good movie. They just want to kind of make spy content and like have the James Bond name slapped on it. That's really what they want to do.
If there's a James Bond TV show on Amazon, like Jack Reacher or those other shows, I guess my whole point is like, I have reached the bottom of my fandom. Like, I want this fucking guy off my screen. Like, I own a copy of this movie because it was cheap on Black Friday. I've never even opened it. I got it to just complete the collection. Like, Daniel Craig James Bond is Disney Star Wars to me. Daniel Craig is the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the Rings of Power. Everything you folks out there hate, that's Daniel Craig James Bond to me. Because he sucked the soul out of the franchise. Oh, but what about the producers? They let this guy co-produce the last one. There's never been an actor that had that much say in James Bond, and they ruined it. Like, every other person out there that talks about this stuff has not been as disappointed as me, because I love James Bond, and I'm ready to see it go. So, like, this is it. This is the bottom. Anything's an improvement. Outside of, like, a race swap, I don't think I'd be too pissed about James Bond from Amazon.
And in all honesty, we saw Amazon do Rings of Power, and there were a lot of race swaps. So I mean, that's entirely possible.
But did they race swap any? Like, Lord of the Rings is a franchise with like a dozen characters.
True.
James Bond it's the James Bond franchise. Now, no, unless you're gonna go and do like war period pieces about like M or all these other people, you kind of got one guy because everybody else is a title. Like M is a title. That is the James Bond's not a code name. Hey, that's how Amazon fucks it up. If they call codename 007 and it's different people taking up the mantle, then I can't say what I was going to say because we're on the internet and that could be considered a threat. But I'm going to kill some ass man. That's all I'm going to say. There we go.
So
and I get that. I get that.
As I was going to say before I got interrupted by a child. Yeah, you had a good time over there. At first, I was like, well, at least it's not Netflix because we know what they will do. Maybe Amazon won't be a problem, but at the same time, we have seen what has happened with properties that get into the hands of companies that are just wanting to make the money with it, Star Wars. and just, flogging it for everything it's worth. So do I think that there's a danger of that happening with Amazon? Yes. I haven't watched enough Amazon original content other than Some of the Boys to be able to say one way or another how I think they will do it. But I honestly would like to be in the Jeff camp of optimism where, hey, this could be a good thing. We could get some good Bond movies. We could get a new actor for Bond that looks and plays the part and is more aligned to what we think James Bond should look like or should be like. But at the same time, I can see Nick's side of the argument where it's Amazon. Bezos is a bit of a wokey. I could see our, stupid shit like Codename 007, and it's just a bunch of other people, and it shows just all these different James Bonds and the missions they go on. Some get killed, and then they have to get a new one or something. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. So I'm going to say I will approach this with nothing but the utmost amount of caution because it could break either way. I don't really know, and I'm going to sit on the fence for once. I'm not going to take a stand. I'm just going to sit on the fence.
Now, you brought up Jeff Bezos. Did you guys notice that he tweeted out about this, about who do you want to play James Bond? I have a theory. This is just a very paper-thin theory, as thin as his hairline. But I believe that he likes James Bond, and he personally won't let this shit get messed up. Imagine if I owned a company that owned James Bond. You think that I'm going to let it fuck up? No.
Well,
I'm going to control it. I'm going to overdo it.
No, that's fine. But like, okay, there's another show where this kind of happened too, where the show The Expanse, like it got canceled and it was, the rights were up for, whatever. And Jeff Bezos like was at a meeting and like the production company and the actors from The Expanse like gave him stuff for that, and he wanted, and eventually it got acquired to Amazon. But they put such little money into it as like the first, I think they had 3 seasons, and the books go on after that. But like they quit putting money into it after the 3rd season. Like, and they have billions of dollars. They reduced the episodes from the first 2, which I think were like 12 and 13 to 6, because who knows why? Maybe it wasn't making money or whatever like that. But like they had this property and they could have put a ton of money into it, which you can tell the difference in when Sci-Fi had it to when Amazon had it. Like there's a clear difference. And for some reason, there wasn't enough money into it. There wasn't that's what it felt like towards the end. Like they had all the money and they could have put more into it, but they didn't. They could have pushed advertising, but they didn't. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I think will happen with James Bond is like, they'll think it'll do money and then nobody's going to come watch it. And then, it'll just go to the wayside. It'll just disappear again for another, 5 or 6 years or whatever. Who knows?
It can go away forever if they really ruin it.
Yeah. And that's my fears, because like, I love that show. That show is great, but to reduce, the last season of that show to 6 episodes was ridiculous. It should have not have been that way. And it was a really good show, but it happened. And like Amazon has the money, they have the money to advertise all this stuff and put it across everybody's Prime account forever, but it didn't happen, I guess, or whatever. And it's just, it was unfortunate. And I think and I hope that doesn't happen to James Bond, whenever they pick their guy or whatever. But we've seen this happen before with other companies who get these properties and do stuff and things like that. And it's just like, I don't want that to happen to James Bond, because I love the character. I love the guy. And I love the stories. I love the movies. Like, they're so much fun. They're so much fun to watch. And I really don't want that to happen to, another beloved character.
I mean, he's so fun to watch. I'm buying the soundtrack right now. Thanks, AJ Journeyman. I buy all these from La La Land. I didn't know that License to Kill was out. I made a video about this topic, and to make it a little different, I actually set up and filmed some of my James Bond stuff as an introduction for you guys. So instead of me just talking about the Bond, I thought, let's tie it in together. And I pulled out all those albums. Now I got to get License to Kill. Even though I don't like it enough to like watch it regularly, I'm going to buy the soundtrack. They also released the score to Beverly Hills Cop 3. And I can't believe I'm excited to buy that too. But that's a topic for another fucking. Goddamn, I'm buying this. Ew. Anyway,
geez. Well, I mean, you got to collect it, man. You got to collect it.
I actually want to listen to the soundtrack for Part 3 because does it got all the music? Like, all right, it's got the one song I actually want to hear on it, and I'm gonna buy the soundtrack for that.
Oh jeez.
Oh wait, no, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 5 different versions of this specific song I want to hear, Nick. There
Holy
we go.
shit!
Wait,
Is
is
it-
Beverly Hills? Damn, there's a
Is it-
different version of Axel F.
Is it the amusement park theme that has like 8 different versions? It's just done by
Yeah!
like 9 different people. Like
What are you saving the kids on the damn roller coaster? That's the best part of that
that's
movie.
what it is.
It's not a good movie. Now I'm seeing a lot of people are recommending for the next James Bond. Take a minute for you guys to think about it. Personally, I want a couple of things. Either I want him to just throw money at it and say, "Hey, Pierce Brosnan, let's do old man James Bond." Then I'm on board.
That'd be great.
Or what I really want, and this is what I think I'd be even happier with, is they find the right guy to play Bond, and they commit and they do a 1960s spy television show. Every week, it's got the James Bond theme, and it's like Mission Impossible, but Bond's on a
Oh my
season-long
God.
mission.
Yeah,
That's what I want to watch every
I would-
week.
no, I would love that because I remember watching what show did they do? Mr. and Mrs. Smith with
Oh, yeah,
Donald
Don
Glover. Dude, that was fucking terrible. It was so bad. Oh my God, and like it got renewed for a second season, so fuck me. But it was bad. Like I watched it, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. These people are insufferable. Like, why are we watching them? You know, It's just-
Because they don't have anything else to do with that IP. That is an IP that doesn't need to.
no, that was
exist
that was an IP that like was razor thin, and they somehow made 2 seasons of a show out of it.
Well, I mean, Donald Glover just knows what to say.
Whatever, man. It wasn't. It was weird to watch, and it didn't follow the premise of the movie. It just kind of had like the name of the movie and followed its own premise, but it was still in that spy kind of thing. But it just, I don't know, man. It just didn't hit right. You know, it just didn't, because you know a good spy movie when you see one. This did
I've seen
not-
many of them.
Yeah, this did not hit right, and it was not good. I dare I say the closest thing has been Kingsman in that
Oh,
kind
Kingsman's
of era.
great.
You know, I wish we would get multiples of those movies. You know, or even
We
something
got
with
a
Jason.
trilogy.
Yeah, even something with Jason Statham, like give him a spy thing or whatever. And like do Operation Fortune, but do like 4 more.
I mean, I'm down to watch Operation Fortune,
Yeah.
part 2 and 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would love that, but I would also be just as happy to get my fantasy James Bond is stuck in the '60s film
Oh,
or
100%.
show where we don't have to worry about modern politics and we don't have cell phones, because cell phones. I don't know what James Bond's greater enemy is, the cell phone or modern politics, because they
Dude,
both ruin the story.
The cell phone is the ruiner of a lot of movies. I mean, look at horror. Like there's a lot of things that will ruin that real quick. You know. So, but no, I'm with you. I'm with you. But
AJ
I
Journeyman,
did.
Octopussy sold out.
Oh,
Anyway, sorry. Oh, that's the only one I don't have is Octopussy, because it's sold out.
damn.
I can't believe it would sell
Oh.
out. That movie's terrible.
It
I
was
know.
terrible. It was really bad.
There was about 5 minutes where I was bummed out that it sold out, and then I realized it's Octopussy, and I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah, I think you're bummed out because you wanted it for the collection.
That's
That's it.
exactly it, Nick.
That's it.
Do you think I really want to fucking own? I don't even think I'll
You'll
open
keep
it.
You'll keep it in the wrapper and just like put it back in the against the wall or whatever. It's like, all right, I have it. It's fine.
See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and get myself an external disk drive, and I'm gonna rip all these and put them on my phone and do all the stuff. But the Octopussy soundtrack might just actually never get that. Like, oh wait, is it back in stock? No, it's not.
No,
back
what the
in
hell?
God, Octopussy's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not
Hey
good.
Kendo, do you want a copy of the Idiocracy soundtrack? It comes with Office Space. It's only $5.
What the fuck?
I didn't even know Idiocracy had a soundtrack.
Yeah, I know.
It's 45 minutes long.
It's a really short soundtrack. It must just be the songs only in the movie.
Oh yeah, that's what La La Land is. They only
Okay.
do, unless it was Beverly Hills Cop, then they paid to do all of those. But that's a topic for another time.
Because I know
Yeah.
that there's two things. There's the soundtrack and the score. Like those are 2 different things. So
I'm a
I think
score
I could
guy.
live, even for $5, I think I could live without the soundtrack to Idiocracy. Even though I love that movie.
I did.
yeah, it predicted a lot of the future. It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Ooh, GoldenEye's hitting vinyl. The '64 soundtrack. I'm buying that and I'm hanging it up on my wall. I don't have a. Dude, I'm gonna get a second one, Nick. When I come down, I gotta hear the GoldenEye watch music on vinyl. It's never been on vinyl. If anyone says, "Oh, it's gonna sound like it's supposed to," you mean the thing made in a computer that plays on a computer will sound different than it's played on a computer? Okay, I'll give it a shot.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you want.
Nothing. I want James Bond to be decent again. So, folks, if you have anything else you want to say, like in terms of like ideas, let me know because I want to hear your take.
Dude, I miss the alcohol brandings, the commercials, the whole thing. Like that stuff was great.
I have Belvedere vodka unopened with the laser etched 007 bottle.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I miss shit like that. You know, where that was those like you had these high end brands make cool shit, for the movie and stuff. It was great, but no, we can't have that anymore. Nope.
No, it's a different world we live in. As long as we don't get like James Bond, like soy milkshakes or something, I'm gonna be okay.
I don't know. I really hope we don't get that. I really, really hope that doesn't happen. But I wouldn't put it past Amazon.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Because if that happens, I'll be like, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah. So thank you, folks, to everybody who's been telling me about stuff I'm going to buy and spend more money on. I'm very happy to add more James Bond stuff to my collection. And as soon as this GoldenEye Laserdisc... Oh, wait, it's sold out? Shit. I guess I'm not getting this James Bond vinyl record. Oh, well. Oh, it's the orchestrated one. It's not even the real deal. Anyway, we have a show. Sorry, folks. When it comes to Bond, I get very laser focused. I'm a collector at heart. So thank you, folks, for joining us with the James Bond topic. We got James Bond and Snoop Dogg selling bougie spliffs. Sure, a James Bond blunt. Sign me up.
Yeah, the only thing is the James Bond's blunt will shoot a laser out of the front of it or something. I don't know.
Remember in Never Say Never Say You Only Live Twice, he had that cigarette that he lit and it shot the rocket out of the cigarette.
Yep, there was that.
10 episodes. Oh, okay. I like this idea. If you put 00 in front of the episode numbers, episode 007 should be the best one of every season.
Ooh, that'd be nice. That'd be good. Yeah, I'm down for a show, but it has to, it has to be good. It has to be worth the time, and it can't be bullshit.
It has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a cohesive, understandable end goal that they're working towards the entire time, not just slapdash together throughout the season for 9 episodes and it all culminates at the end. We want something that's set up to make sense, to work all the way towards the end, like Avengers, as opposed to what we have now in phase, whatever the fuck they're on, where they're just running around directionless. That's what we want. Not the directionless part, the other part.
Yeah. Yeah, like they should introduce Spectre in like at least the second episode, and not the last one.
Because you know what they'll do is they'll like make it. I don't want a origin story. James Bond's not a character that you should. He should you just start. Like the best introduction in cinema history is the introduction of James Bond when he's at the card table and the woman's like, "I admire your luck, Mr. Bond." Clicks his lighter. James Bond. The theme plays. The coolest part of that scene is when he hands the dude a stack of money and just puts it in his pocket. Like, it's a great scene. Okay. No, I would argue there have only been maybe 2 or 3 other iconic movie characters to have a better introduction. Like Indiana Jones is great. He's being followed through the jungle and he turns around and whips the gun out of the guy's hand. That's cool. Who are some other great character introductions, folks? In the chat, let me know. But off the top of my head, like the first time you see Spider-Man swing, not as cool as the first time James Bond says his own name. The first time Iron Man suits up, cool, not iconic like James Bond. I'm really like, what is I can't think of one. Like Batman, maybe like Michael Keaton Batman's up there, but it's not better. Ninja Turtles, they have a good introduction. You're right.
Yeah,
pop up.
But no, I'm with you. We do not need his damn origin story. We don't need to see him as a kid or whatever bullshit it is, and then that thing. His backstory should be in dialogue only, and then only like little snippets throughout like the entire show if they do a show. That's it. Like, we don't need more than that.
Yeah, nobody cares about young James Bond because all the cool. It's like when people back to Spider-Man. Harbaugh, high school teenage Spider-Man. Nobody gives a shit about that. That's like the least interesting part of his life. We like adult Spider-Man. So we like adult spy James Bond. We don't need James Bond the kid running around on the schoolyard spying on girls or, knowing that James Bond is a child, he would probably be, rummaging through all the money pennies on the schoolyard and, ignoring the kids playing soccer. So we don't need that. We want to see Bond the way we know him, which is, usually killing commies and foiling commie plots.
Yeah. We used to have James Bond Jr., so if you want to see what young James Bond is like, I liked it. It worked for me back in the day. Not so much anymore, but it did back in the day. I'm reading some of the people talking about introductions. We're going to read the super chats right now. Wolverine's first appearance is a pretty good one. I had to think about that one for a minute. I like that movie. X-Men 1 is solid.
Vader's is pretty good.
Oh, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Great.
Fuck yeah, that's true. Vader is pretty good.
The whole first movie, Vader is just a badass, and you only have a little bit of backstory about him in the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi just references the fact that he murdered Luke Skywalker's father. And then in the second
he's more
movie,
machine than me.
Yes. And then in the second movie, we learn a little bit more about him until we find out that he actually is Luke Skywalker's father, which kind of makes sense, but then it kind of means Obi-Wan lied to him. But at least they fix that by having Luke even challenge Obi-Wan on that idea and says, essentially say, you lied to me, to which he's like, well, it's kind of true from a certain point of view. It's like, no, there's no point of view where that is an accurate statement, where you want to do that unless, Obi-Wan is some kind of fucking Freud dude that likes to, analyze personalities, and he's not. He's a hermit that lived in a cave. Probably, I'm not even going to get into what he was doing in that cave for those.
He was a meat packer.
He was a meat.
He was in the Obi-Wan show. He works in a meat packing plant on Tatooine. That's not a joke. He's a meat packer.
What the fuck?
Dude, he would be the most efficient meat packer in the world, because if you think about it, you get these whole halves of fucking banthas in there. He could pull out the lightsaber and chop that shit up real quick, and then he could just use the Force to just move things around and just popping, meat, getting it wrapped and tied up, and he can just be like waving his fingers and doing stuff, because Obi-Wan knew how to Force really, really well.
So Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Butcher is the next series on Disney Plus.
I would actually watch that. I did not watch the Obi-Wan series, even though I do really like Ewan McGregor, and I like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Don't watch it.
But I've also been told by people whose opinions on these things I trust not to watch the show, so I didn't. Not sure why he'd be a meat packer.
Because that's the only job on Tatooine.
But again, why would he need a job on Tatooine? It's like,
because he's watching over young Luke Skywalker the whole time. But apparently he doesn't have to watch
an old man watching a young boy from a distance. That's the story we want.
But he doesn't have to watch him when the plot happens, and he has to go off planet because Princess Leia's dad's like, "We need your help." I don't even remember what happened. But he goes. I think Princess Leia got kidnapped as a child, and he had to go rescue her.
Whatever, man. They keep talking about these backstories.
Absolutely no sense, because Obi-Wan was supposed to just go to Tatooine and watch over Luke until he was ready to learn how to, train. So him leaving the planet would be a bit of a problem, which then again also is a problem because theoretically Darth Vader should still sense Obi-Wan's presence somewhere out there in the Force. And I'm not going to get into this. This is just going to be aggravating. We really go down this rabbit hole again. And I'm pretty sure that I've said my piece on it way too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, wasn't it? That was not a great show. Anyway, that's where Reva comes from. And folks, if you want to know more about Reva, watch my Ollie's videos where you can find Reva and the Shuricopter. They're all together in the same place. Thanks, Hasbro. Let's check out the audience, because this is a great one from Master Marlbros. BoJack Assman. Back in the 90s, I was.
We had a new leader in the clubhouse and winning the internet tonight.
Yeah, BoJack Assman's pretty good. Thank you, though, Master Marvelous. That one, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I just want to make a Photoshop of the logo, BoJack Assman. Wear it on a shirt. Can't get sued. Dr. Coffinails, thank you very much. Just watch Star Trek 6 for your information. Valerius, Kim Cattrall, was originally going to be Savick. How did you like it? One of my favorite Star Trek films. I loved it. So I've been watching this like I forgot the name of it, or else I'd give them a plug because it's good stuff. But they were doing like the history of all these like sci-fi franchises. I've been deep into sci-fi lately, and the guy reviewed Undiscovered Country and said, "Oh, it's arguably the best one." After Wrath of Khan, I went, "I like Wrath of Khan. I haven't seen Undiscovered Country," so I went back and watched it. I thought it was great. It's up there. Like, I'm really partial to Voyage Home just because it's like cheesy and hokey and funny, but I think it's a solid movie. This one just was good all around, and I like 90s Star Trek. Like, I even gave the Next Generation, was it Insurrection a shot. That was
Insurrection.
I thought with the Borg. No, sorry, First Contact.
Yeah, First Contact.
First Contact.
First Contact is so much fun. I really enjoyed that one too. That was a lot of fun.
It is my favorite Next Generation movie by a mile, and I'm the guy that's always going, I don't like Next Generation. Maybe not as much as the old one, but that movie was good, so I can't really talk shit.
There was one after that where they went to some weird planet to save people, and they were like I forget. It was such a strange one.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, that Nemesis? That one was Nemesis was weird too. Nemesis was weird. Yeah,
I'm glad they're all on Paramount. You'll never get me to watch the new Star Trek stuff. But
you heard about the series that I think lasted 3 seasons? Apparently, it was disavowed from being canon. Like, it's not canon.
Beyond, what's it called? Not Lower Decks. There was Picard. There was the other one. It's the other one, right? With Mike Burnham or whatever her name is.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I ain't watching it.
I watched
James Bond gets that treatment, I'm gonna be so upset.
I watched 3 episodes and I was just like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I hate when they say something's like in the past, but somehow the tech work looks better than it did in the original show. It's like, how difficult is it to do this? Really?
You mean like Star Wars movies?
Yeah, like Star Wars movies.
I don't know why these places that make these shows just don't take an old one from the archives, make a mold, make a bunch of copies, and just put it in the show. Because the people that are watching this shit want the accuracy. This is not the time to throw new toys and all this crap in there, because your average Star Trek viewer is much older comparatively to like any other, like a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
And they care about that kind of stuff. They don't care about like, oh man, they didn't go to warp and go around a supernova and this and that. They don't give a shit about that. They care about the characters and the stories and the reality of the world and the little things.
Sci-fi people that are like really into the shit, they are very, very meticulous and particular about the details of what it's supposed to be like, especially compared to like, the original shit. So,
but they're also very forgiving. Like there's a wide berth of like understanding in fandoms. Like, oh man, like the new Spider-Man show, which I'll talk about at the end of the show. Is it great? Find out at the end of the show. But there are certain things where you can forgive it. Certain things you can pin it to the fucking wall. Yeah. But Dr. Coffin-Nails, I thought it was really good, and I like Kim Cattrall because I think like the lady looked good back in the day, but her haircut was weird, and I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody, but I liked how it went down. And I'm glad it wasn't Savick, because I kind of like that character in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
John Thomas, member for 3 months, says, Jennifer Seleucus, even money, it's a gay non-white human. She destroyed the Wheel of Time. She is every bit as evil as Darth Kennedy. I gotta look her name up. I don't know. She just sounds terrible. Now, I haven't watched Wheel of Time, nor have I read the books. You guys, Wheel of Time fans?
Yeah, I had to watch it with my mom, my aunt, and my niece, and even they hated it.
Did you guys complete the series, or did you just give up?
No. We watched the movie, or whatever it was, or am I thinking of another time thing, the one that Oprah made or whatever? Am I thinking of that?
Oh, Wrinkle in Time. I'm thinking
of Wrinkle in Time.
Hey, you're not white. I'll take your opinion.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of Wrinkle in Time because that one was really bad too.
Yeah, I can understand the trauma associated with it.
So if Wheel of Time isn't that game show with Vanna White, then I have no idea what it is. So there you go.
That would be the Wheel of Fortune, and I'm glad that she's still on the show.
Yeah. She looks good for like 70.
She does. She was on The Price is Right.
Was she?
Like, yeah, back in the day, she was one of the people on the show, and they go, come on down, Vanna! And she goes on the show and plays. So
that is hilarious.
Aaron Paul's on there, too. Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Pinkman. I guess that's what he was doing while he was trying to audition. He went on the Wheel of Fortune one day.
Yeah. He was in I think it's either him or some other famous kid actors in the very first Pokemon commercial. Like one of these kids, like is it Mac from It's Always Sunny? Like some guy that went on to be a big actor is in the Pokemon commercial. It's kind of weird.
First Pokerman commercial, and I make fun of Pokemon even though I am a fan. I enjoy playing the games. On Pokemon Scarlet yesterday, I finished the Pokedex. The first time I've ever finished a Pokedex on any Pokemon game, and I've played pretty much all of them. So go me.
I gave up after Yellow.
Commercial. So like 20 something years ago.
Yeah, I got a little bit into Pokemon Stadium, but I've made this comment before on the show. Once I got into wrestling, Pokemon just seemed kind of lame by comparison. Like they were little creatures that screamed their names. I'd rather watch people take chair shots and look at Trish Stratus. So that was 12-year-old me.
Well, I was able to do both, so we're good here.
That's true. Plus, you skipped out
I
on
don't
the
know.
best year
I can't
of wrestling
find
in
that-
year 2000.
I was still in wrestling at the time. I just was taking a bit of a hiatus because I was still a little salty about them killing my favorite wrestler at the time, and was salty about them chasing off my other favorite wrestler at the time, and still really salty about my other favorite wrestler at the time going from being this evil undead Undertaker to the Underbiker. So I was just like, I work a lot. Maybe I'll just do that because WCW sucks too.
Let me look real quick. Did anybody get it? Because I looked up the actor. It was Drake Bell. So
Who?
Drake Bell, the guy from Drake and Josh. He's in a ton of shit.
I'm sorry. What is a Drake and Josh?
It was a Nickelodeon show.
Cool story, Mark.
You can say that again. Now, let's see. Thank you to Sejorjan, who says, since we had President's Day on Monday, if all 45 presidents were in a Royal Rumble, who would win? We already know Kendo automatically dismisses Wilson. Now, this is an awesome one. I have an answer, but I'll let you see if we have the same answer, Kendo.
So here's what I'm thinking. Are we talking like if we're talking presidents in their prime and
Yes.
it's a straight up shoot? So Teddy Roosevelt's in the Final Four because the dude he was a fucking rough and tumble motherfucker that I'm pretty sure if given the opportunity would fight a bear barehanded. Howard Taft is also making it to the Final Four because
Because he's so goddamn big.
Yeah, no one's throwing his big ass out without any help. Give me Abraham Lincoln in the Final Four because one, he was really big and he was actually a wrestler. So he has some graps. He's got some moves. And if I got to go for another one in that Final Four, Ike but he was a general. Maybe George Bush, H. Walker Bush, because the dude
FBI.
was a pilot and he was the director of the
Okay.
CIA. So he knows
that's
some
what it was.
fucking tricks. So I'm going to
He
say
doesn't
that.
He doesn't use
That's your
telekinesis in the
final.
ring.
That's your Final Four right there because any of the founding father guys, while they may have been like woodsy and stuff like that, although Andrew Jackson probably can make it to the Final Four.
That's what I was going to say. I thought Andrew
That
Jackson
dude-
would be your final man.
Yeah.
He was just fucking mean. So how about this? Taft gets dumped out because everybody sees that he could be a threat, so they're going to gang up on his ass. So your Final Four is Jackson, Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and H.W. Bush. Jackson and Roosevelt make it to the final because they will hand in hand try to take down Lincoln because he's the next biggest threat. Because again, outside of being an actual wrestler, he's 6'4", which is very still large even for our time. And then they go after H.W. Bush. So then it's just a showdown between Jackson and Roosevelt. And I'm going to give the edge to Teddy Roosevelt only because he did get shot while delivering a speech, pulled out the giant fucking thing of paper that stopped the bullet from blowing his heart out of his chest, and proceeded to give the speech. So I think he would be just manly enough to get rid of Jackson. And Theodore Roosevelt, your 26th president, your youngest president ever, would be your winner of the 45 presidents because, like I said, all the founding father guys, they were all high society hoity-toities, so I don't think they could keep up with it. Most of your jobber presidents were jobber presidents for a reason. Kennedy probably could do well, but his back was all fucked up, so he's not going to be able to stick around very long. Some of your high-ranking ones that were military guys were always just like the high-ranking officer type. So I don't think they could get as rough and rumble. And LBJ was a big dude, but he'd be too busy trying to show off his hog to everybody, and he would get distracted, and that would get him thrown out of the ring. Ronald Reagan, while cool as hell, is a pretend cowboy in the movies. He's not an actual cowboy, so I don't think he would do too hot. Nixon would cheat because he is a crook.
I think Nixon would eliminate himself right away because he couldn't handle one punch.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly. FDR was always kind of handicapped, so he's not going to do too good. So,
does he get attacked before the match by Edge and Edge replaces him?
No, that doesn't happen.
Should it be Bob Backlund?
No, but Joe Biden, before the match breaks out, he gets attacked by, all sorts of Democrats, and Kamala Harris takes his place in the ring. And she gets launched out because they unburdened themselves by what has been.
Oh, you went differently. I was going to take it where Joe Biden forgot to enter the match. And so at the end, when whoever you're saying is holding his arms up in victory, pointing to the WrestleMania sign, here comes old Joe, and he pushes him over the top, and he's confused. He's like, hey, I'm going to WrestleMania. What's that? That's how I see it going.
Hey, Jack.
They call his name and he just doesn't show up.
He'd walk up to Taft and be like, listen here, fat. Let me tell you, Jack. So like, and then Harris just walks up, punches him in the back of the head. She climbs in there and takes his place. I thought you were
going to tell me that he had a moment where he mistook Triple H for Hunter Biden. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I miss Celebrity Deathmatch because of this. Like, we really need to bring that back.
This could be a thing.
They would. Really oh my god! It would. I wish Celebrity Deathmatch would come back because we need it. We really badly need it.
I'm gonna book this now. I have to book this now.
Book it. By all means, book it. I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
This will be my summer project for when I go back to Camp Kendo for a few weeks and I literally have nothing else to do.
Besides the stabbing cabin?
Yeah, but I'm going to be back for like almost 2 months. So that's only like 1 week. I'm going to have like 7 other weeks to sit around and have nothing to do except for enjoy the fact that instead of 115 outside, it's 100 outside with 100% humidity. And then sit there going, do I rather have the dry heat or this? Oh, I don't know. I will sit down. I will come up with pro wrestling profiles for all of them, finishing maneuvers, build heights and weights, all that good stuff, and then I will just randomly draw them, and I will use a computer algorithm to figure out who would win.
Isn't there a program where you can make your own wrestler and they can wrestle each other? Isn't there something like that, or am I making?
Yeah, the video game.
2K.
Okay, we should.
But see, that's a lot of work.
Okay, all right.
Creating that many wrestlers is a lot of work. Plus, I don't think they let you have a 45-man Royal Rumble in those games.
No, they would let you have 40 though.
Oh,
well, still. That also leaves it completely up to chance as well, too, which would be a problem because then you'll end up like Chester A. Arthur ends up winning the fucking thing.
What the fuck is that?
The number of people right now that just said, who the hell is Chester A. Arthur? He was the 21st president.
He was.
I only know that because of Diary with a Vengeance.
Man. And he was only the president because James A. Garfield was assassinated.
What is Abraham Lincoln wearing on his head, Jeff?
That is a sombrero and a United States singlet. And okay, I love how terrible AI is because the wrestling ring ropes make no sense. The top rope right here is gone, and then it doesn't even line up with the turnbuckle on this end. This is like the AEW ring from that Australian show. It's not professional wrestling, but I think we have 2 Lincolns. A George Washington. This guy is missing an arm down here.
Yeah.
He looks like Will Ferrell. And it's just weird. Anyway, this is one of the best messages I think we've gotten all year. So Georgian, thank you. I love this idea. Kendo, we should turn this into some content where we talk about this together.
Look, I can start working on that sometime soon, and I will come up with that, and we will have our own. I will book the 45-man Royal Rumble of all the presidents in their prime, whatever their stats would be, rate them, all that good stuff. I still feel like Theodore Roosevelt probably would be the winner, but if you want to, I can totally kayfabe the shit, and there could be, surprise things happening, like Nixon comes in and starts beating somebody with a tape recorder, and, Kennedy
I like
pulls
this
out
one.
his black book, which is the size of the fucking yellow pages, and just starts clocking the shit out of somebody.
That would be hilarious.
Bill Clinton would sneak into the women's rumble. Rascal, says Ruddy.
He did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Like, so you know how in like Celebrity Deathmatch they could pull out like a random object to fight with? What would Bill Clinton's random object be? Like, like a Monica Lewinsky doll?
Oh,
Would that be his-
a saxophone. A saxophone.
Oh
Yeah, he pulled
duh.
out his saxophone and just started bludgeoning somebody with a fucking brass instrument.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Saxophone.
This is actually a woodwind. Crack.
Like, hey, your kid just laughs at it too.
He's playing his Lego train game. He's happy.
I would
He
be
likes
too. I
taking the
love-
little leg. He likes taking the little Lego people off the train and raising them to the top of the screen and dropping them, and they hit the ground and they bounce around and like ah. And he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world that he's crippling Lego people by dropping.
Wait till
them.
you get him The Sims, and then he'll develop a god complex. And then
He's
don't
already
let me-
got one.
don't let me play The Sims when I've had a couple of drinks, Nick, because I will. When I lived in California and I needed something to kill the time, I'd put on The Sims 4 and I'd find ways to torture my Sims. And my favorite way was to like build a nice Sim world with all these families and like make it nice for like an hour, and then host this big party and then have everybody show up at the party, and then remove all the doors from the house, and then I just watch the people die over a couple of weeks. I've done this a lot.
Why don't you just do that and then set fire to the house and watch the chaos ensue?
Wait, no, Jeff. Why are you not like streaming this on Twitch? Like that's
Do you,
that's-
folks, do you
that's-
want to watch me torture Sims? I got
Yes.
The Sims on my Xbox
Yes.
still.
That's
I'll-
stellar,
Yes, they do.
that's stellar content. Like, why would you not just like get a little drunk or whatever and just start
Folks,
like
if you want to see why
torturing the
Jeff,
Sims?
if he was actually an evil person, would be his own investigation discovery mini series. Let's go ahead and get a tank tread going there in the chat, and Jeff will torment and torture people on The Sims all the time.
Because I mean, who doesn't want to watch it? Honestly, that'd be funny as shit. Be funny as shit. And then
No,
then you get-
I'll do it.
Yeah, then you can get the expansion packs and like add weather and other bullshit in there too, and just see what happens.
I just like to watch them tear themselves apart. But my favorite thing to do is like,
So basically, what you do is you make Mulberry Street, and it happens.
but they're all in one house.
Oh
Yeah, he
the
leaves
thing
him in
is-
the one house for about a week, and then throws one piece of fried chicken in there and watches it.
Oh no!
over a
Here's the thing.
drumstick.
I give them full food. I don't take away anything in the house. I just remove the doors. I wait because it takes a minute. What happens is you give them everything and they can't handle it. And so eventually, even though they have utopia, they still fight. They still break down. They still go down and try to drown themselves in the swimming pool that I put in the basement. Like, it's a lot of
That's
fun.
even. They're just some bad plumbing away from this being like a carnival cruise.
I know.
Dude, if only I could do a Sims cruise boat where I lock them on a ship and they can jump off and die, or they can be tortured by me. This
Like,
sounds
even-
awesome.
Like watching him torture Sims. Like even I want to watch that. I want to see how demented it gets. Like I really want to see. Some
I
shit.
do have a substantially morbid curiosity about this.
Yeah, like I would watch it. Like you do like an hour and a half solid. I'd watch it. Yeah, I want to see how these Sims like
I
react.
want to see how far he would go.
Yeah. Why have
Okay,
you never
folks.
told us this? Like that's
Because I
amazing
think it's kind of dark.
so you are kind of dark. Haha. Dumb
That's
joke.
true. You're darker than me, technically.
Yeah.
Well, that's the figure. Yeah, I am in both ways.
Yeah, Mister. Dude, I cannot draw you without wearing a black T-shirt in the new book. Like, seriously,
that's
Everybody
fine.
else
That's fine.
Kendo. Because
I'm permanently wearing a black shirt. That's fine.
well, folks, it was funny the other day when I got my message from FedEx that Wokebusters is on its way from the printer. I got the first 10 pages of Stealing Solo 2 back in color, and it's been like a great week. I'm excited. But I got Kendo a copyright-free Chief shirt and Dion a copyright-free Michigan State shirt, and Nick, yours is just black. So I have a bathrobe on, so you know.
Okay.
But I do try to design us like we look in real life in terms of what
That's
we
good.
wear.
That's
So
good.
you got red.
But no,
jerseys.
I can't wait for your like sadistic Sims stream.
My God complex. Don't ever let
Yeah.
me play black and white. If the Sims
What's
had it where you could,
what's black and white?
it's like the Sims, but you would build like islands and worlds and societies and stuff. It's old. It's like 24 or 23 years old at this point.
Oh, okay.
But like the thing I'd like to do in the Sims is if you could just play like Master Hand and you could just pick up a Sim and throw them and they would just like die, or if you could like drop them like in the Lego game, because I just would want to just go in, like flick off the roof, and this giant hand comes in, boom, takes one, like King Kong. I wouldn't eat the sim, but I'd like to like. Sometimes I'll put them in like a restaurant or like a funeral home or something and take off the doors too. Or sometimes I'll get even darker, Nick, and I'll do this to multiple locations. And then I'll have a couple people stuck outside and they have nowhere to go. So it's just like, and I get them to start fighting with each other. I turn off the TV. I'll like make the music terrible. I'll let rotten food sit out.
This I would watch this all day.
A really tall building for like, luxury apartments to get all these like, foo-foo people to move in there and then just like knock the building over.
I don't think you can do that with people inside, and you can't really build like a skyscraper in The Sims. You can do it in SimCity, which I have played SimCity just to let it get destroyed. Let's turn on the weather and do this. I'll also make the world's worst traffic patterns. Like, if you want to get to point A to point B, the straight line's the shortest way. But I'll do like the most circuitous route where it's like, you want to go here? Well, you have to go 4 miles this way, 4 miles east, 4 miles south, 4 miles west, and you'll go like in 6
It's
circles.
like driving in Las Vegas
or Los Angeles. Yeah.
That's true. Is there a game where you can do some like Lord of the Flies shit? Like you can like create a hierarchy between two people and they have to like, or two tribes they have to fight. Can you do that?
Do you want to let's make this game. Let's make the most like, let's just call it Human Condition. And it's not even like advertised as dark. It's like, this is the most realistic game you can play. Why? Because you can do some messed up shit to other people and get away with it.
Because like, I mean, like that would just be fun. Like you have like, only one source of food. And you have two like groups of people and they have to like get it, or they try to share it, and then the sharing doesn't work, and then they have to go to war. Like I want a game like that,
and I want the people to kill each other too. Like if they get desperate enough, like they have like a score. Because I was watching this anime called Psycho-Pass, and if your number goes off a certain thing, the government comes after you. I want it to be like, oh man, your sim is so hungry now they're a cannibal. Like I want that game where they'll just. And then the baby still is born in the oven.
Oh my god! I'm sure there's like an unhinged like version of Sims you can like get or whatever. And, mod. Like you can do some really like heinous shit with. So
I can play as Will Wright, fire my mods or my Sims out of a cannon. Thanks, creator.
There you go.
I want to play Lemmings with the Sims.
Oh my god!
Watch them walk off a cliff.
That'd be
All
fun.
Right, you guys convinced me, and the chat wants to see Buffalo Jeff stream. So okay, I wasn't gonna do it on camera anyway because I'm pretty good with Buffalo Jeff, but I will probably break because I will cackle like really maniacally as these people. Like sometimes I just make them work out until they die.
Yeah, see, like that's the shit I want to see. Like that's the shit I just want to see. Like I just want to see Jeff be sadistic for like an hour and see how it goes.
All right, fine. I'll do it in March since February is almost over.
Yeah.
John Thomas, thank you for being a member for 3 months, John. We appreciate you, man. His son is a Tolkien fan and told Bezos not to F it up, and we see how that went. Drunk 3PO called it billionaires collecting shiny trinkets.
Yep.
It is. I would just like to say, though, if I was in that, like multi-billion-dollar position, I'd buy the WWE as a toy. Like, I'm sorry, but I would straight up buy pro wrestling, and it would just be, like, my thing. It's like, I don't care what my ticket sales are or this and that. I would literally buy it to just book it for it'd be like real-life GM mode. And maybe I'd be like in The Sims where I'd be like, Cody Rhodes, I don't really like you. You're going to be in a Hell in a Cell match and a ladder match and an Iron Man match all in one night. And then he's going to quit. And fuck him, I don't care. But yeah, I would do that with that much money.
Well, see, and that fantasy is a reality for them because that's what they do. They'll buy these shiny trinkets, as John Thomas said, and they'll screw them up because they can. They probably think it's fun, and it's not. Business doesn't really matter because they're billionaires, and what is money anymore at that point? So,
yeah, what is love as well? They don't know that either. Thank you, John Thomas. We'll be back to you in just a moment. But our friend Ditto73, thank you very much for your generous super chat, Ditto. Ditto says, hello. I don't know if you saw the message on Tuesday's stream, but the cowboy head ad for Tubi is the ad I was talking about in reference to the Buffalo Jeff silhouette. Oh, do you mean this one right here? This guy, this creepy ass Super Bowl commercial?
That was.
Hello there. This is your old pal Buffalo Jeff.
Is that what he looks like now? Is that the face we're sticking with? Because
dude, that was such a weird commercial. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was at first. I'm like, what the hell is this for? Then I saw it was for Tubby, and I'm like, well, I guess that kind of makes sense because Tubby does have like everything on there. Why the sci-fi kids or the fantasy kids or whatever the hell they're supposed to be would be arguing and fighting with the Western kids. That I don't know, but yeah, the cowboy hat kid was an odd commercial to say the least.
Yeah, you could advertise it a million different ways, but you chose this. Like, people in this world have like different shaped heads according to like the movies they like. That's weird.
Yeah.
What does a space kid have? Like, just like his mouth is covered in his eyes.
I don't know, but hey, you know what? Tubby is a good service. I do.
It is.
Like them. They got some good shit on there. They allowed for streaming of the Super Bowl, which means I didn't have to move the TV antenna downstairs to watch the Super Bowl. Could leave it upstairs, although then I had to move it downstairs last weekend to watch Daytona 500, which was fucking rain delayed for like half the day. So either way, it worked out.
My buddy went down to that. He sent a ton of pictures. So if you ever want to see some stuff, Kendo, let me know. It's pretty cool. He goes every year. That's his WrestleMania.
That is something me and Doofus have been talking about, because obviously he comes out here. He's going to be out here in a few weeks. We're going to pretty much make a weekend of the NASCAR race. We're going to go to the truck race Friday night and watch Frankie Muniz. And
Malcolm, you got this.
On Saturday, we're going to go to the Busch Series race, whatever the hell that is. And then we're going to go to Sunday, the Cup Series race. And I hope the Melon Man wins so I can watch him smash watermelon. I can go, Melon Man! And just, yeah, there we go. So it'd be fun. And then, that's his things. But I told him, I was like, we're going to go to Daytona one day because that just looks like a shitload of fun.
I mean, I know it's going to be a family thing, but if you ever go a second time, call us up. We should all go.
Oh, no, definitely. No, I'll go.
I mean, the family thing, it'd be me and Doof. So it wouldn't be that hard to say, hey, guys, you want to come with us to Daytona? We're going to be gone
he would
part of
like
the day
it
on Sunday.
I think he would enjoy it because he'd have I'm sure he's heard about us, so he knows who we are in theory. He's probably read the book, right? With you in it?
We'll go with... He'll be here in a couple weeks. I'll be like, hey, you're going to be sitting around all day while I'm at work. Read this comic book.
I'm in. I'm a kidnapper.
I allegedly help Nick kidnap Harrison Ford. I will not at all, be like, yo, hey, this totally happened because I've never been proven guilty and you can't prove it.
And Harrison Ford is out making movies.
Yeah. One of the best ones, with Red Hulk, which did gangbusters at the box office.
Yeah, I was on WDW Pro Show the other day talking about that. I want to guess. I'm guessing this weekend's drop off is going to be pretty big. What do you think?
Oh yeah, at least 60%. At least 60%. Because I mean, it's. I love how their margin of success is like, oh, it did 100 million. I'm like, really? That's your margin of success for this movie?
What'd the damn thing cost?
Oh, well, I mean, you'd have a better idea than us because you've been.
Oh, that was rhetorical. Yeah.
But about the reshoots and like all that shit they were doing up until the end, so who knows?
Hey, gotta love that Captain America.
Man, such a dead I love how like Marvel and Star Wars are both like dead IPs. Like nobody really cares. I mean, I think people will go watch Fantastic Four and that'll be about it.
Yeah, Thunderbolts is looking to be garbage fire, but
yeah, it does not look fun.
No. John Thomas, thank you very much for your very, very generous super chat. I'm working on some new buttons, folks. We're going to pull a page out of one of our favorite YouTube channels, and we're going to do like a stacking one as well. So I'm working on some surprise ones, some special ones, some creepy ones to troll Dion, and a lot more. So probably episode 435 will feature a nice overhaul in the buttons. But John, thank you very much. He says, I don't care enough to look up the Amazon hose name. Wheel of Time is second only to Tolkien in a fantasy series. 15 books. Oh, we'll have to do more research because I know Star Wars is technically fantasy, space fantasy, but I've always just thought of it as science fiction. And so I like sci-fi, but I don't really do a lot of fantasy only because some of the text is a little too descriptive. I understand that's sort of, the selling point of like Tolkien or even Ian Fleming. I think Ian Fleming does a little too much detail, but I don't mind fantasy-based movies, or I guess fantasy-based video games are okay. If they're bloody, I'll definitely play those ones. And they got boobs. Like, we need movies akin to Conan the Barbarian that's just muscles and tits and blood and chopping off James Earl Jones' severed head and all that shit. That's a good movie.
We need to bring those things back. That's how you get butts and seats again.
Yes, decapitations.
Yes, decapitations and topless women. 2025. Let's go.
When we were back in the 90s, you would watch movies to see these things. Now at the internet, you can watch real naked women and real decapitations if you really want to.
Yeah, or you can just pull up an AI thing and be like, hey, create a scene in which a naked woman watches James Earl Jones get decapitated by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the AI will make it for you. So
That's
you don't
true.
even have to watch Conan
Very
the Barbarian if you don't want to, because you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. We just had the AI do it for us. Which
Yep.
it blew the kids' minds when I had them do a paper the other day. And they ended up getting AI checked. And I found out that most of them, you were using ChatGPT. They're like, no, that's not true. I'm like, I just would just put it up on the big board, just let them see how much of their stuff got zapped for using AI generated text. I'm like, again, there's no scenario here where you guys win this game. So just take your L, redo your paper.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get a bunch of angry parents being like, why are you bullying my kid? They did the work, and shit like that. So,
I mean, those kids are probably, the parents are probably using AI for their job too.
yeah.
I was talking to ChatGPT to do a more detailed President Smackdown because, Kendo, we're going to do some fun stuff with that. John Thomas, though, thank you very much. Guys, let's give John a button. We know that Steiner Math has its own little thing, but let's give John a fun one that we don't get to press. Any ideas, guys? You want to pick a number or you want me to take care of it? Kendo's? All right, Kendo.
Message!
That's a
There you
good
go.
one. That's a good one.
Good old Keenan.
Your own words. Don't make ChatGPT do it for you. Or if you're in school, Jeff, you can use it all you want. You're a professional.
I don't though, because I like to write. I used it to look at a stock index thing. I was like, explain this to me in layman's terms, and then it did. And if I trust it, then there you go. I learned something from it. I
did that the other day too, except for I used Dion, and I said, hey. He's like, all day today, I've heard about Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and I have no idea what this is. Can you explain this to me like I'm a white person that's in his mid-30s? And
so you call your black friend to ask about rappers. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, all I know is how, Kendrick Lamar made Drake look like a massive bitch. And I'm like, I didn't even pay attention to the halftime show. I just heard that one song playing over and over. And I'm like, where the fuck have I heard this before? And it took me 30 minutes to figure out that's the song that they play on the morning announcements video to advertise all the schools, clubs, and everything like that. I'm like, that's where I've heard it before. Work. Yeah. And I'm like, oh. And then all the last several days, kids were like, oh my God, Drake's such a bitch. Kendrick. I'm like, I have no, I gotta ask Dion. Dion will tell me what this is all about. And it did.
I wish I cared.
Yeah, same.
I just cared enough to want to know why the hell is this such a big deal?
And
Dude,
and I mean,
go ahead.
And to bring it around to the button, the reason we have a halftime show is because of In Living Color.
That's true.
Yep, that's the whole reason we have it. That's the whole reason you have a giant performance, and they say come back and watch this person do the stuff is because of In Living Color.
Don't you just love the historical importance of that show?
I didn't realize it was that important and that happened until I heard it recently, this last year, and I was like, oh shit, that's hilarious. That he was a smart enough businessman to take advantage of because they were just doing the school's band it would just be bands that would play for that amount of time and during halftime, and then he's like, you know what, nobody watched it, they turn it off, come watch a live show of In Living Color. Best thing he did for his business, hilarious. And it caused a change in the system so fast.
Here's my hot take of the night. In Living Color is better than SNL because SNL has overstayed its welcome, and now it has a parody of itself. And the 50th anniversary, while it did have moments of, the glory days, it was still kind of a cringe reminder of what SNL has become. And In Living Color was just this white hot moment in time that you can't recapture. And it permeates pop culture at the same window of time just as much as SNL does, because Fire Marshal Bill and Homie the Clown and Men on Film and J-Lo and all of that and Jim Carrey, all those things became a huge part of popular culture.
on In Living Color, he was James Carey.
Excuse me,
That's
James
true, he
Carey,
was.
Canadian superstar James Carey,
Yes,
star
thank
of
you.
such films as was it Love Bites? What's one he's the vampire movie he's in?
Oh, Once Bitten.
Once Bitten,
Yeah,
Love
Once
Bites. I was gonna say Reality Bites. I'm like, that is not him for sure.
No, that was a totally different movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, also in Living Color gave us Jamie Foxx, Tommy Davidson, essentially
David
the
Allen Greer.
Wayans brothers, with the exception
Yeah.
of Keenen, who was already out there. J
Because they
Lo
were
was
happy
already
they were singing.
mentioned. Trying to think of who else came off of there. Like, I mean, when people are like, "Oh, I'm old enough to remember this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm old enough that Shawn Wayans used to be called SW1." So I can talk about that because
Yeah.
that was Sunday night was let's watch Married with Children and In Living Color until then they moved it, and then it was like let's watch The Simpsons and In Living Color, and that was the thing, and it was awesome, and I enjoyed it immensely. And there was something else I was going to say about it. Oh, the SNL thing. I didn't even know Saturday Night Live's 50th episode was even going on. I remember the 40th because I made it a point to watch it because there was a big deal. The fact that Eddie Murphy was going to be back on SNL for the first time since like 1984. And I'm like, I got to see this. And so I watched it enough to get that. I didn't even know SNL 50 was even on or a thing until later that evening. I was doom scrolling Twitter and found out Tom Hanks was trending. And
yeah,
found
that
out
was
why Tom Hanks was trending, along with being referred to by a special P word that we will not mention on the show, and all sorts of stuff about that. I'm like, I'm kind of glad I didn't miss it. Oh, wait, that was Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary? Huh. That show really has fallen off the cliff in the last 25 years.
Yeah, there was a book by the guy who runs it. I forget his name. And he was saying, he's like, oh, the show isn't political. The show isn't political. I'm like, are you blind? Or are you just stupid?
Even when I was watching it, the show is political in 1970.
75.
Yeah, when Chevy Chase was helping to single-handedly, or no, it'd be 1975 when Chevy Chase was single-handedly trying to help Jimmy Carter get elected by making fun of Gerald Ford fall down some stairs. Fast forward, 50 years, and we've got another president falling upstairs, but nobody ever made fun of that.
Oh, yeah, Lauren
Oh, you
Michaels,
can't. Is the movie, or is the book you're talking about Live from New York, Nick?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
I read that this
Lorne
year.
Michaels.
Okay.
That book was pretty good, but I'll admit I stopped because it's a very detailed analysis of Saturday Night Live. But when they started to get to the modern stuff, I went, I hate these people. And after they talk about Kenan Thompson, I turned it off. Like, I didn't need to listen to the Dick in a Box guys or anything like that. Just, it's nothing to do with the politics. I just don't find it funny. And I think it has to do with Lorne Michaels because he is the voice of SNL. But like, I don't like variety shows. When I was a kid and I watched SNL every week, I turned it off during the musical numbers. I didn't care if it was a group I knew. I didn't like the break in comedy for a concert. I hated that.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the night, they did the second thing, and I'm like, oh, second music act, turn it off because all they do is come in and say goodnight. They don't even do bits after that. I wanted to watch it for the comedy, because we had such great people come from it. But I don't think we live in a time where comedy is acceptable, and the guys that are good at comedy are just not on SNL. Like, I don't like. I used to love Bill Burr, and I thought he was so fucking funny. He wasn't. He hosted SNL, but he wasn't on it. I think everybody on there is so generic that it hurts. There's no stars.
No,
Just
no,
Kenan,
no.
and he was
No,
big
I
when we
mean,
were kids.
it used to be that thing that you do the comedy clubs, you stand up, and then you'd get, somebody from SNL would reach out, and you do SNL for a bit and become, something, and then get the movie deal. That's how that would work. But that's not the case anymore. You have the internet and things like that. You can become a success overnight if you want to. It just matters. It's a different path now that people take.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that felt kind of weird or disappointed by SNL 50 because I turned it off. I saw the Tom Hanks stuff live, and that's not why I turned it off. I didn't get mad. I just went. I think it was the dance number was after Black Jeopardy, and it was the one with like Kim Kardashian and all those people. And I went, I hate Kim Kardashian, and so I turned it off. Like, I don't think she's. That's the part I hate about SNL. It's like. It's supposed to be like, all the modern celebrities and stuff, but she's not a performance celebrity. She's famous for being in a porno, and she can't act. And like her dad's a famous lawyer who got OJ free, essentially. Like, these people that are like modern day celebrities aren't talented. They're like, it's like the Hawk Tuah girl. Thankfully her time's up, but she was famous for making a joke. Kim Kardashian was famous for sucking a dick. Like, these people get famous for dumb reasons, and then you put them on a platform where it's historically trained comedians or musicians or people who can do both or are talented. And to me, it lowers it. Like, it should just be a showcase of like truly talented people, not a reflection of why everything sucks. But
Yeah.
Well, just remember, if the people of Los Angeles, the LAPD, didn't try to frame OJ for killing his wife, we would never have the Kardashians as a household name. The only reason why anybody knows who she is because OJ was friends with Robert Kardashian, and the LAPD tried to frame him, so that's how he got prominence. And they're to blame, so let's just blame the LAPD.
Fair enough. I feel like Mad TV is the kind of in between SNL and like In Living Color.
Mad TV was awesome because it was the WCW Nitro to SNL's Monday Night Raw. Mad TV came along. It was different. It was funny. And it was great. But it also kind of petered out around the same time Saturday Night Live did because I think Mad TV was like, what, 96-ish? 97 is when it first
I think it started in 94.
94? And by about the year 2000 is when Saturday Night Live started to go downhill because I think it was like 97-ish is when they fired most of their best cast members, like Sandler and all those guys, and brought in the new cast. And Mad TV was still going. And yeah, Saturday Night Live kind of hit a wall at that point, but they were still able to limp for a few years. Mad TV kind of ran in the same thing around like 2000 or so. That's right before the end is when they kind of started to go. Yeah, everybody just wants to be the kids in the hall, and they just can't.
No, they can never do that.
Squishing your head.
You know? If you want to know what a great comedic bit is, go look up the kids in the hall either rollerblading or Idiot Boy. Those are two of the funniest fucking things you will ever see in your life because it's comedy done the way it's supposed to be. It's just well written.
Now, real quick, you realize that
Idiot Boy well acted.
Since you brought up Mad TV, remember Key and Peele were on there from basically 03 to 09. I guess is that Mad TV's greatest contribution? I know Jordan Peele's gone off the reservation.
Mad
as a filmmaker.
TV was still around in 2003.
Yep, it was. The last episode was in 09. It ended in 09.
Jesus, I thought Mad TV was done in like 2001 or 2.
No, it was a big deal. I mean, dude, it had Will Sasso and it had Michael McDonald and a couple other.
I remember Michael McDonald and the one guy, Dave Foley, because there's your Kids in the Hall connection. He was
Dave
on
Foley.
there.
He was on SNL, wasn't he?
No, he was on
Mad
TV.
Okay, because look at they like Deborah Wilson, Nicole Sullivan, Alex Borstein is famous for being on Family Guy, but she was on this show first as Miss Swan.
She was that Miss Swan lady, and Will
Bill
Sasso.
Lamar was good. Orlando Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Artie Lang.
Yep.
Ari Spears was good. Brian Callen's still famous. Frank Caliendo, whatever. He was famous for a minute. Yeah, all kinds of people were on SNL, or on Mad TV. I'd argue even the no-name people on Mad TV are funnier than the big names on SNL today. So
I'll 100%. I'll buy that because that's 100% true. Because I would go back and watch a Mad TV reunion, but I'm not about to go watch the Saturday Night Live reunion. In fact, I didn't even know it was on.
Yeah.
Did you know that Miss Swan had a husband?
Mr. Swan?
And guess who plays Mr. Swan?
Who?
Mark Hamill.
Oh. Okay, Dave Foley was not on Mad TV. I stand corrected. But he was on The Kids in the Hall, and that show was great.
Wasn't he on News Radio?
Yeah, he was. He was on News Radio.
I don't know how I feel about that show. I kind of like it, but I also kind of hate it because it was kind of annoying.
He was also in the Postal movie with Scud Farkas.
Oh, Zach, what's his face?
Yeah, that movie was awful. Don't watch it. I laughed at it because I've got a extremely warped mind, and the game is fun as shit. My favorite thing to do was always to cause the elephants to stampede by setting them on fire with gas and watching them trample through town.
Is that the next Buffalo Jeff game after The Sims?
Sure, we can do Postal. Postal's the number of times I sat around with Lunchbox, we just played Postal for hours and hours. God, that was such a fun game. Anyway, but yes. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, News Radio. Phil Hartman was on News Radio. R.I.P. That guy was great.
He was the best. Our friend Shrubbles08 says, we need a Buffalo Jeff streaming the Sims 4. You'll get the fuff. I'll stream some games. Like I said, I'll just sit off camera and make, we'll talk to Buffalo Jeff. And then maybe
Is that the new thing? Instead of saying Buffalo Jeff, we just talk about the fuff, and that's how we trick Dion.
The Fuff. That's his name. Yeah, the Fuff. F-U-F-F.
Yeah, we need to hear from the fuff.
But by the way, I don't think Mad TV is streaming anywhere, unfortunately.
You know, that makes me sad because Mad TV has some really great skits.
Yeah. You guys,
like the Eddie Murphy Party All the Time one.
Yeah, because I just checked my app here that tells me where everything's streaming, and like I think 2 seasons are on Prime to rent, and that's it.
Yeah, you can rent it off of the YouTube TV as well too.
Yeah.
But here you go. Here we go. On the Amazon.com, the complete first season of Mad TV DVD came out on the 6th of June, 2006. Happy D-Day, everybody. Would anybody like to guess how much it would cost to buy this DVD, whether new or used? You can give me either price. That is almost 20 or 19 years old of the first season of Mad TV. Jeff.
$24.
Nick.
I'm going to say $24.01.
Both of you are well under. You can get this DVD for $43.08, or you can buy it brand new for $87.69. Yeah.
Jeez.
The only thing that would be worth it would be to buy it and rip the Spy vs. Spy cartoons off of it.
Yes,
those are
yes.
so good.
Oh
Dude,
God, yeah.
I never bought a Mad magazine in my life, but I used to go read Spy vs. Spy in the grocery store and then put it back because I didn't get the jokes as a little kid, but I liked Spy vs. Spy.
I had a prescription to Mad Magazine for quite a while, and it was fun. The Spy vs. Spy was great. I even remember playing the Spy vs. Spy Nintendo game as a kid. That was a lot of fun.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, did you know that Spy versus or EC Comics, the people that do Tales from the Crypt, are also Mad Magazine? That was their next venture.
I had no idea. No idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, because the government came after him in the 50s, and they said comic books promoted homosexuality and violence in children, and they did a whole government trial. This guy named Frederick Wortham made up a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, long story short, the only company that got hurt was them, but they had Mad Magazine.
Yeah, I mean that's always gonna happen. Like whenever things like that happen, there always has to be somebody who gets made an example of, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, I mean, I read comics, and I am not gay nor violent most of the time. About the violence, never gay. So
yeah, same. Only violent when I play The Sims, apparently. So.
Well, maybe there is the connection there. He's not violent to real people; he's violent to imaginary pretend people. See, this wouldn't happen if you watched The Kids in the Hall. You would be totally.
I did watch The Kids in the Hall. I even would watch that weird ass. Dude, I watched anything comedy when we were growing up, like Kids in the Hall, Strangers with Candy. I thought like anything on cable, like Comedy Central shows. I thought they were like super funny back then. The Man Show. What else was on Comedy Central besides?
The Man Show. Holy crap! But I think the Man Show's on Tubi.
Yeah, but see, that's when I thought Jimmy Kimmel was cool.
Yeah,
the Man Show's legit.
That's when Jimmy Kimmel was cool, and then he left the Man Show and he became a Mangina, and that was his peak. Was the Man Show when he was I'm Karl Malone. See, nobody talks about we do, but he disavows the entire.
No. That happened. That happened one summer, and then he got real mad, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to take a break for the summer. I always do it every year." It's like, no, you don't. What he should have done.
He should have done one of two things. He should have been like, yes, I'm a hypocrite for trying to cancel people when I dressed in blackface and pretended to be Karl Malone. But it was also hilarious when I dressed up in blackface and pretended to be Karl Malone, because it was funny when he was trying to be Karl Malone.
Yeah, it was always weird and unsettling because he had that like skin cap on, and if he turned his head, you could see that his hair was under it. So he had this like bulge of skin under his neck. Like, ew, he looks weird. Like when Brendan Fraser tried to play Charlie Brown on SNL. And
I remember that.
Yeah, remember he cracked his head open and just kept bleeding everywhere. Ooh, that was dark.
It was dark. It was really dark.
Ditto73, speaking of dark, he says, so what you're saying is that you want to make Sallow the video game. Wow, nothing that dark. Nothing sexual, as they say on It's Always Sunny.
No.
It's a different movie I'm thinking of. Anyway, no torture. Just digital torture. That's our new channel, folks. Welcome to Digital Torture, the show where we make all your NPCs die.
It's gonna be all the
What
students.
did you say? You stand there and tell.
Oh, there's Dion. Holy crap!
There we go.
See,
While
now
Dion's
it has gotten even darker in here. So there you go. Since that's what we were talking about. There
All right,
you
hold
go.
on. Fucking sound's not working. Hold on.
Oh, we can
We hear
hear
you.
you.
We hear you, buddy. We hear you. It's all good. Dion.
But now he can't hear us.
Dion, we can hear you.
hold on.
This
I
is
gotta fix
Adventures
this.
in Technology with Dion Green.
Maximum volume.
Dion, can you hear me, buddy?
Who are you? What are you doing here and where are my horses?
That'll get his attention. Even the kids enjoy that.
Guess what, motherfucker?
There we go. There we go.
Welcome in, Dion.
We in this month. Let's go, baby.
There you go.
Dion, can you hear me, buddy? Dion, can you hear me? Dion, am I there? Can you hear me, buddy?
He hears you.
He's still he's either pretending he doesn't hear you or he just doesn't hear you.
I
One
hear
or the
you.
other. Are you sure, buddy?
I am sure. Show me your
There you
tits.
subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Promise me you won't gangbang
I will
100 dudes
totally
and get
subscribe to
pregnant,
Nick's
Nick.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, don't do that.
You'll be really disappointed, like really disappointed.
You should do an OnlyFans where it's literally just
I
you
won't
with
be.
paper fans. Like those Chinese paper fans, like every week, like here's a new one. And then like after you make so much money, you start getting custom ones with like people's faces on it. You're like, who's on my fan today? And it's just like, I don't know.
The funny
John
part
Cena.
is, you joke, Jeff, but there is a segment of the population, probably weebs, that would actually find that funny and insightful and will spend the money to see Nick talk about it. And then he could even create his own Amazon wish list, asking for all these special different fans and shit like that. People will buy them to have him get it, hold it up on camera, and then fan himself, and then review how good it is to fan himself with that fan. He can make tens of dollars doing this.
Yeah, I mean,
I wrote it
yeah.
down just if I need to get a tank of gas. I figured it'd be a good idea. Times are,
That's
dude.
fair. That's
it-
fair.
At least I'm realistic. I'm not trying to buy eggs or anything with the money, Nick. Come on now.
I love how it's like eggs and gold. Like that's where we are right now.
Look, I can't eat gold, but I also can't use eggs as my future investment. Like I'll just get the protein from beef jerky, drink a little more water to flush out the salt, and call her a day.
There you go. There you go. That's how you do
How to
it.
survive the pandemic.
Very practical.
That's our new angle too. How to survive the economy. Eat a lot of beef jerky, drink some water to flush out the sodium, you'll survive. We're not doctors. Do
beef
not take
jerky
our
costs
advice.
less than fucking eggs do at this point, which is crazy. I never thought I'd see that day.
Yeah,
it's
pemmican.
funny, isn't it? Daddy's going broke buying your groceries.
Oh my god.
Overkill 161. We have 3 more super chats to read, and then we're gonna get on to our next topic. Overkill 161. Thank you so much. He says interview of the SNL cast members on Rogan says that SNL was a snake nest where everyone was backstabbing each other for skits. You guys think that's true? Well, having read the book Live from New York, that was really detailed about the entire history of SNL. I'm sure that stuff did go down, especially with some of the women. It was weird. Some of the women, like Victoria Jackson and what's her fucking face? Not Lorraine Newman. That's the wrong era. The dark-haired lady, she was in Pee-wee's Playhouse or Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Jan Hooks. Like there was stuff during that era, but a lot of the stuff on SNL, people were just drugged out, and it was a different time. So, and even according to this book, which has got all the people interviewed for the book, they were all drunk. They were all high. They were banging each other. They didn't really give a shit. Imagine like just a group of 20-something-year-olds today. Instead of they'd be on their cell phones doing their stuff. But back then, people got rowdy and banged and did all this crap. So it was kind of a shit show behind the scenes of SNL. And I wouldn't recommend. I guess the book is worth a read if you're really into the history of comedy. For some reason, I did a deep dive with all these classics in SNL.
Yeah.
But you hear there's tons of stories. Like, you know that on the night of the first episode, they could have aired some kind of bullshit clip, or they could have had this young and upcoming comedian. Guess who the young upcoming comedian is that they cut from the show at the very literally the last second before they went live?
Eddie Murphy.
Billy Crystal.
What?
Yeah.
They cut Billy Crystal from the first episode of SNL. And so then years later, when they asked him to come on the show, like, he asked for more money and all this shit because they fucked him over in the beginning. He like held that grudge for years. And there were like interviews and stuff where he would talk about SNL before he would be on the show, talking about how shit went down. And you know, people were messed up, people were assholes. Chevy Chase was a douche. Like everybody was, you know, except Gilda Radner. She's the one that everybody says was great, or Dan Aykroyd. But everybody else kind of has a reputation. Like Garrett Morris was real aloof and strung out, or this or that. Like, it's interesting. You should check it out. So Overkill, what I'm trying to say is I believe that to be true based on all the stories I read from the SNL book.
If you want a good occasional behind the scenes look at Saturday Night Live, especially late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, check out the Dana Harvey, David Spade podcast, Superfly, because those guys will occasionally talk about that. And it's funny because, one, Dana Carvey's hilarious and David Spade's funny and entertaining too. But also you can tell that that was kind of a special group where they were all actually friends and they weren't really going around, you know, stabbing each other. They just enjoyed being together and working together. And then they all got fired because one of my is an idiot and he didn't want to go to movies to go to money and not let him in it. So then he gave the world Will fucking Ferrell after he fired him. So
now hold on, it wasn't Lorne Michaels that chose to get rid of the cast. It was some stupid executive.
I still blame him.
Yeah.
You can blame Lorne Michaels.
It's
Lorne
his
Michaels
show.
is responsible for. True. He has way too much power.
Apparently it was very
Fuck
much
that guy.
NBC that had made that call.
Was it Jeff Zucker at the time?
Well, he could suck it too.
I
Last time I
think you're
checked,
right.
Lorne Michaels' fingerprints is everywhere.
True.
Shrobles08 has a request for a fun button. I need a Joe Rogan Slapnuts, please.
Did you see that guy accidentally hit that moose with his car?
No.
Holy shit. Jamie, pull that video up.
It's Mr. Flatnut to you.
Now, I know we're reading Super Chats, but I didn't know The Rock was going to be on SmackDown tomorrow. I did look up WrestleMania tickets, though, Dion, just because I'm really, jonesing to not miss out. Guess how much I found 2-day passes for?
In total,
Yeah, for both nights.
I'll say on the cheap end, 800 total.
$733. That's
Well, listen, so Hillary and I were laughing. We were like, I can't remember. We fucking went to something locally. It was either like hockey or basketball or whatever. And we did the wait to the last minute. So like we have it in our minds to like try and scalp tickets at the last minute while we're in Vegas. So like I'm partially excited, but at the same time, especially for our fans, if if we don't go, they'll know like, damn, tickets were pretty expensive if Jeff and Dion couldn't figure that out. Jeff,
well, we
Dion,
need to
and Ken
figure out.
couldn't figure it out before the show.
We need to figure out the logistics because you and I both live thousands and thousands of miles away from Kendo. So if we're gonna even try to pop in, we gotta it's only 2 months from today. So we have 60 days to make these plans, and we got to. But we got to do the Stabbing Cabin within 2 months after that. So we got to take into account everybody because I want to do WrestleMania.
Right.
But if it's like gun to my head, Stabbing Cabin with all you guys or WrestleMania without everybody, unless The Rock's gonna be there, I don't care. Like I really don't want to break the streak, but
we got time. Yeah, we got time for both. The rumor right now is that at least for WrestleMania, the pre-show turnout is not what they thought it was. So I'm at least as far as us just being in town for the event and then figuring it out, we still got time. Stabbing Cabin, I know we actually gotta start talking about that stuff because it's obviously
Dude.
This far out. But with WrestleMania, it's right now it's shaping up to be the Wild West. One big sports fan legendary set of stories is for, and Kendall, feel free to jump in if I'm wrong, was for the New Orleans Ravens 49ers, where a whole bunch of that stuff, that was where apparently an unnamed NFL executive got caught in one of those, lady of the night establishments. A lot of people showed up. I believe it was like the 2 nights before the Super Bowl, where a lot of shit went down with players. That was why there was a certain number of
Dion. It's past 10. It's past 10 o'clock. You can say hooker.
Them hookers was making bank in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen with the 4 of us, because you guys are married, and I don't know. I ain't doing that. And Nick has too high of standards. Like, he wants like princesses and shit, like the girl from the end of Kingsman.
So here's the thing.
Hey, why not?
We're living vicariously through you. And that being said,
do you want me to do some fun shit so you can live vicariously through me?
Hang on.
Go do some wild shit.
You get number one, if you guys are coming out here and you're planning on trying to find some hookers on the strip, that's a bad idea. Because number one, prostitution is illegal in Las Vegas, contrary to popular belief. But if you want to, you can get your happy ass in a vehicle and drive about an hour north of Vegas to Pahrump, where it is legal. And
is that where the Bunny Ranch is?
I don't know if the Bunny Ranch is in Pahrump, but one of my coworkers lives in Pahrump, and I give him shit about it all the time. So I'm just like, hey, so
what's his night job?
I don't know. I never asked him. I just know when I found out that he lived in Pahrump, I'm like, so did you pick that on, logistically? Because he's like, no, it's because I have like 6 dogs, and that's the only place we can find to have that much space. Okay. But yes, so don't go walking around on the strip looking for a lady of the night. 1, it's going to cost you an awful lot. 2, you're liable to get arrested. And 3, just rent a car and drive an hour to Pahrump.
The Bunny Ranch is in Mound House, Nevada.
Mound House and Pahrump. Those don't sound like real names to me.
I'm looking at the address right now. I wish I was.
Can we make a porno-themed rhythm game called Parumpa the Pumper? Because I would so play that game. Stick.
I would, 1, play that and watch it. 2, all I'm saying is, in terms of, and don't get me wrong, I understand that I'm one of the folks in the minority who consider pro wrestling a sport, but the sport legend tomfoolery that is possible in Vegas is very plentiful. And I think, even if we don't go to the show, it's going to be a good time.
You and I are going to get
very accommodating.
We're going to stop at our local, where, as soon as we land, and we're not going to remember this trip. That's what'll happen.
Yeah. And no, you'd rather go to Pahrump, because if you really want to go to Mound City,
Cabin,
that's 6 hours away.
Woo!
It's up by Reno. So
holy shit, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Nevada's a very large state, and there's only like 2 interstate highways. And so if you want to get there, you have to drive like state highway, 2-laney shit with like no lights on at night type shit on the highways.
Nope.
So
I was never going to.
You're more likely to get lost in the desert, so don't do that. Just go for
Nick won't get lost in the desert. He'll accidentally show up at Area 51, and the government will be like, "Hey, you're finally here, buddy," and it'll bring him in. Nick's not an alien. He's just a really high-ranking scientist that we've never told you about. Nick actually developed a working prototype of a Shuricopter that you can go out and fly in real life. This dude is serious.
And we also know that in most end-of-the-world scenario films, a lot of the characters involved are gorgeous Indian women. So
that's true.
I love a gorgeous Indian woman
to us. And I'm all about that, 100%.
So
even if we don't,
you're supposed to say Native American women. So
no, kid. We're talking about the real Indians, the real Indians, the ones from India.
Yeah, so am I. The ones we found first.
Who's we? Are you Italian?
Hey!
You got got some gabagool for me?
Hey, this is
All right,
gabagool.
Don't get me. Dan has
from the
reverted
Met,
into his.
But he's from Brooklyn. You believe that?
Dude, locally, all Dan does is talk about how Italian he is, and he talks about gabagool constantly. Dion, you saw when we were in Philly last year. You bought all that mortadella instead.
He ate it. He was Italian as hell, right? But he ate that shit.
Yeah. It wasn't even
He knows
gabagool,
that
but
mortadella is not the same thing as gabagool, right?
he didn't. That's why we're still talking about it.
I am
I'm like,
not Italian, and I know.
I walked over to
I'm also
Dion,
from
I was
St.
like-
Louis, where there's lots of Italian shit.
I was just like, dude, this is not gabagool. I was like, gabagool is just gabacola. So, anyway, whatever. Folks, if you want us to talk about Italian food, we'll talk about that at a later time.
Yeah, no, but no, the Stabbing Cabin should be fun. We can sit around and do nothing, or we can go and see a bunch of touristy shit. And
Do we have somebody that could be a DD for us? That we wouldn't. Hey, should we call Lape and invite Lape?
So one, yes, but two, look, I'm all for hanging out. Look, I'm all for hanging out for the first time in 4 years. I'm totally down with that. I'm not fucking playing Dungeons and Dragons with you guys. So you can forget that DD shit. That's not happening. You guys can dress up in your little fruity costumes and go on your quest. I will sit out. I will sit out on the patio and pretend I don't even fucking know you guys. Like,
There
I don't
aren't
understand what
patios
this is
on
about.
chalets, bro.
Very
It's
fun.
a balcony that's going to overlook the Smoky Mountains. There's no patio.
And
for
I will
you.
go and overlook Smoky's Mountains while you guys play wizards and shit, and I'm not involved in the D&D.
I'm
stuff.
not playing wizards and shit. I am not
Oh,
Vince
God.
McMahon.
Get the
I don't do
fuck
that.
Oh man,
But yes,
no,
we should invite Leif because we need a patsy.
we need a Patsy.
He's old enough to get us bail.
He's old enough
He's
to keep
old
us
enough-
from jail.
There's that
Very
too, and
affordable.
he's also naive enough that we could pin
That too.
shit on him if we absolutely had to.
Could
And
you
he's
imagine getting
awkward
channel?
enough that the police would believe it.
Yeah, that's
Dion,
true.
could you imagine getting Channel Dad baked at its thing? That would be hilarious.
That'd be
Oh
awesome.
my god.
That would be awesome.
He'll-
I would.
You know what's
laugh
great
my-
though? We won't have to make or we won't have to buy any alcohol. He'll bring all his own. He still makes beer.
That's true.
Yep.
The chat's like, who are you talking about? There, okay, folks. If you're newer to the channel, we used to have Channel Dad Brian Lape. He started out as a listener, but it turned out he was local, and so he would come to the cons and hang out with us. And then he went to Star Wars Celebration. He was our videographer. He's like a part of all of our epic moments. He's the fifth bullshitter behind the scene that you've never heard us talk about
Yeah.
in like the last 5 years. So
That's true. That's true.
he,
He's-
Yeah,
once
he's
once
a
I moved
real
away, he
dude.
moved away.
He's a real dude. We've
He's
hung
anus.
out with him. He's totally anus. He's actually fun to have around because, well, okay, he's fun because of things like the night that we were all stuck in the same hotel room at Horror Hound,
Horror Hound.
and Dion had his fucking noise canceling headphones on, and his alarm went off at 4:30 in the morning, and it was the Bulk and Skull theme. I woke up, Jeff woke up, nobody else woke up, and we both woke up in our beds, looked up at each other, and Jeff and I in the dark room made eye contact, looked towards where the music was coming from, waiting for it to stop, and then it stopped because it just automatically snoozed itself. And then like 30 seconds later, Bulk and Skull theme starts again. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? So we're like, Dion, wake up. Dion, he's not waking up. He's got fucking noise canceling headphones on. So I get up, I go over and find Dion's phone. I turn off his alarm, set it down, get back on my bed. And within 10 seconds, you hear Lape, who for some reason, okay, Lape is like 6'5". He's a tall guy, very lanky as shit. Slept on the floor, but he slept on it in a way, instead of like sleeping between the beds where he'd have like plenty of space, he slept at the edge of the room with his head under the desk for some reason. And after all this semi-commotion that only Jeff and I are aware of is taking place, Lape just goes like, huh, what was that? And he sits up like very delayed reaction, and you just hear this boom sound where he blasts
That was
his
it.
head right into the desk. And then it's silence after that. So he could have been concussed. He could have been laying there having some kind of skull hemorrhage. And at that point, we're like, we're paying.
Isn't that what happened to Bob Saget?
Yes.
Yes. Except for he fell in a bathroom and
Yeah,
hit
same.
something. He hit tile.
Same
Lip
thing with
just
the,
hit
with,
the
with
bottom
the
of a
OxyClean,
IKEA desk.
OxyClean guy. Same thing with him as well.
Hey, Dion, toss me that when you're done.
You're on.
So that was
Guys-
hilarious. And that was the end of our night because we're like, I don't even give a shit. We're going back to sleep. It's 4:30. We just had to listen to Bulk and Skull for 20
And I
minutes.
try to remember to turn off my work alarms when on channel business trips. Now,
You know, wouldn't it be nice, Dion, to go on a trip where your phone just wouldn't work? You don't even have to worry about that.
I would love to go on a trip where any phone stuff I get is channel business related.
Dude, the stabbing cabin will probably be up in an area where there's not much cell reception, so you have an excuse not to answer your phone. Sorry, I'm on official business. Uncharted space.
Yep,
Damn
yep.
right. It counts. It counts. And then maybe we find ourselves where one of us, maybe me, gets in a, YouTube channel person fight and I beat somebody up also while inebriated, which would be fun.
I want to
for-
see you fight Queso, Dion.
I feel like that would happen if we went to Dollywood one day. We just meet some other YouTuber. that's what would happen.
I heard you were talking trash. You like Disney Star Wars. We just roll up 4 deep.
Dude, I cannot tell you how happy it would make me. Like us, we're just doing, that we're doing some channel bullshit, and we're out somewhere in another channel where to start something that really wanted to be a part of that whole like YouTuber thing. I cannot explain to you how perfect that would be. It would be the funniest and best thing ever because none of us would take it seriously, especially where they're trying to be all like, we're like pro sports thing. And I would just get hammered after like a couple weeks of training and do it. And we just get views out of it. That would be the best thing on my life.
Dion Fights a Theme Park is the name of the video. It's like SmackDown in Toontown Part 2, except it's just one dude punching Goofy, one dude punching me. Like, does Dollywood have like characters walking around? Is there like a cartoon Dolly Parton with like 20 giant, 20 G tits? Because that'd be great.
There isn't.
There should be.
There should be, but no, it's fucking Dollywood, man. Like,
that would be the main attraction. Like that character would be spending all of its days just standing there with a line of dudes, just queued up, waiting just to take pictures for the smile and wave.
There's a section of Dollywood that hasn't
Family
changed
spring
since
break
it
trip. Family spring break trip. We're going to Hollywood. Nick, get your connections. The Green family, the Hicks family, the Kendo family. We're going to Dollywood. We're just gonna make
I like how he's the Kendo family, not even the Slice family.
just gigantic trip to Dollywood.
He couldn't even give me my fake last name. This is
Let's
just
do it.
insulting at this point.
All right, look it.
You don't get
We clearly have cabin fever and want to hang out. We'll be
Yeah,
hanging out in a few weeks.
I know.
Nick,
what is
you and I will
it?
be hanging out in 2 weeks at the Lexington Comic and Toy Show.
We will.
Folks,
it's gonna be
maybe
fun.
you can pick up a Sherry Copter from me with an Ollie sticker. I'll sign it for you. By the way, folks, we're going to open this in just a moment. I'm going to read these 2 messages, and then we're going to... Okay, do we open the Sherry Copter, or do we talk about Angela Bassett not getting her Oscar first?
Oscar first.
You gotta talk about the Oscar first because I feel like that's even funnier.
No one gives a shit about it.
They've been trying so hard to get that woman an Oscar.
Look, let me address our audience because we have a lot of patient people. Our friend Darian217 has something for you, Dion.
Darian, I love you, but you keep doing that.
Darian, if you make it out to Vegas and we all can meet up,
he will.
I'll have some special horse clips to email you, and you can troll Dion in person.
He will. He totally will.
Yeah, we've hung out in the last 2 WrestleManias, so we got to make it a tradition. Oh, as soon as Dion steps back, we have a Mr. Cleo message, and then it's time to talk about Wakanda for Never. Well, forever on store shelves. Never going to win an award.
Oh, my God.
No, Nick, I'm excited. I want Dolly Parton funnel cakes and all that fun shit.
Dude, we would. There's a thing called Surrey County Week where everybody locally can go there for free. They only charge you for, I think they only charge you for parking or something like that, but you can enter the the amusement park for free. And we spent so many summers like just getting up ass early and going there and just getting drunk, getting messed up, running around like idiots, and just having fun. So it was a good time. It was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still know that park by the back, like the back of my hand. Like it's terrible.
It's good because you can sneak us in the back door and we can Anyway,
Seriously, let's do it.
Yeah.
Mr. Cleo, we have a question. Will Jeff ever get his PO box set up?
Oh, darling, you must be a Libra, aren't you, darling? Well, we gotta look in here and see what the cards don't lie. And when the cards don't lie, we see the future, darling. Unless we do, here we go. The question was, Jeffa, our boy, he ain't a Libra, darling. Ever is oh, P.O. Box? Oh, darling, listen. There's only one way to find out about the P.O. Box, isn't there, darling? And that's with what? The cards. And the cards do what? The cards don't lie. Bokwan Bombakla. And when the P.O. Box hits, baby, Bombakla. When is the P.O. Box going to hit, darling? We know when, darling. It's when the sun's in the top of the sky, yeah. And when the sky opens up, we have plentiful bounty because the bounty and the cards don't lie. Beginning of spring, I'm in the mercy.
These have been the wise words of Mr. Cleo. Dion, you actually picked a great time. Early spring is perfect.
That was so bad. But I'm very proud of it.
I'm proud of you too.
that was we do it off the top here at World Class PS because we're world class.
So, guys, let's take it seriously for a minute. Now, we have covered tons of content over the years, but one movie series that we've talked about a lot is Marvel because it's been the movie series of the modern age. We used to like it. Now we're kind of ambivalent towards it. It used to be the big event. Now it's just there. But one of the big movies of the 32 films now is Black Panther. And so Angela Bassett, who starred in Black Panther 1 and 2, says, I was deserving of the Oscar for Black Panther 2 after I put in the time, good work, and I thought it was a given. So she's upset because she lost out to Jamie Lee Curtis. And she said she found it interesting. Do you guys think anything in a Marvel movie is Oscar worthy?
No.
Marvel's not, especially, what the Oscars are changes obviously with each generation, and Marvel by accident changed how people see that, even though they weren't getting one, and especially now, hey, it's one of those weird situations where if you're not doing the Marvel thing, you have to be doing something else significant. And don't get me wrong, I understand the argument, but at the same time, it's like, it's a different beast now. The whole Oscar thing is a different beast, especially when it's one of those beasts where people don't necessarily care.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, it is.
Right. I'm trying to be very nice here.
Look, Angela Bassett is not going to watch this show. And even if she did, she'd be like, these guys are... Vivica A. Fox, on the other hand, she would watch this show. I'm just saying.
And she's still not a fox.
No. Well, she kind of is in a different way.
She's a fox, but not a fox.
That's true. In no relation to Jamie either.
Right, right. But we still love you, Vivica. Please feel free to stop by my place.
Yeah, like Independence Day, everybody talks about the spaceships or Harry Connick Jr. Her butt is one of the most memorable parts of that movie. Like, yeah, Will Smith was marrying a stripper. An astronaut is going to marry a stripper, but that's okay because it's Independence Day. And I'll buy it.
No. He's military and he married a stripper. That's extremely on point. You have no idea how on point that is.
Fair.
Listen, only the Roman Emmerich movie where it's like, yo, you fly a freaking fighter plane and you want to go to the moon and go to space, and we care that you married a stripper. Like, that's the only time. That's the only place. Like, can you fly this spaceship anymore.
Well-
Now they don't care that much. Even if they did, they would see that his stripper girlfriend, wife, looks like Vivica A. Fox, and they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll let her in.
Maybe we can fuck her too.
Well, dude, the weird thing is, like, back in the day, like, oh, marrying a stripper was this thing. Like, a stripper is so tame by comparison to these OnlyFans girls. We were just like, oh, you take off your clothes and show your butthole for money. That's fine. Now you bang 1,000 dudes in an afternoon and you could be possibly pregnant. Like, that's the extreme we're at now. So, like, you know, in hindsight, I ain't marrying a stripper, but it's a little less extreme than it was back in the day. You know that.
Yeah. But I mean,
listen, extreme is probably not the word. I'd say it's a lot less prevalent than it was. Or no, it's more prevalent than it was back then. Because now, you know, you throw a rock, you hitting an OnlyFans girl.
There's a difference between an OnlyFans girl and a woman that's having a gangbang for 2 football teams in an afternoon. Like, there's a difference, a complete difference. And we're talking about the extreme version. We're talking about the one that gets all the press, not like girl shows giant boobs, news at 11. Like, that's different. We're talking like, I got pregnant by 100 guys, or that's how Freddy Krueger was born.
The champagne room was a thing before OnlyFans, and that was.
But there's no sex in the champagne room.
Well, according to one dude, but at the same
I believe
time.
Chris Rock. He took a slap from Will Smith's bitch ass. I'll believe whatever he says.
I believe you because you let Cuck the Fresh Prince slap you in the face.
The Cooked Prince of Bel Air. All right, we gotta make a song.
Prince of Bel Air slapped you. I believe you. Big Will, True Hill. Big Will, True Hill.
Done it again, y'all. Done it again. All right, I'm ready to do this. So, do we all agree that what's her face, not Vivica A. Fox, Angela Bassett, while a good actress, really didn't need a Black Panther Oscar win, which is an ironic thing that she complained about because the very next year she got a Lifetime Achievement Award for all of her work. So why bitch?
Well, it's,
I mean,
you know,
I understand.
Yeah.
In terms of, to answer your question, I understand the desire and the importance of questioning the Academy, of being very finicky of who they choose for awards and all this stuff. So Angela Bassett's still Angela Bassett. So even though Black Panther was overrated, and I also agree that, yeah, listen, you ain't gonna win an Academy Award for Black Panther. It wasn't that good. Just because Kendrick was on it, calm down. But she did a lot, you know. Should Angela Bassett have gotten an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It? Yes. Should Angela Bassett have gotten an Oscar nod for Waiting to Exhale? Yeah, I would say yeah. Especially in the 90s, should Angela Bassett, you know, that I understand what the point she's saying, but again, and this goes back to what we said at the time when Black Panther was coming out. This is not the movie to dig your trenches on. You know, I understand, especially in the 2020s and the 2010s, I get all of the attached importance that comes with, you know, cinema for minorities. But Black Panther ain't it. It just ain't it. You want it to be it. It ain't it. It had a chance. It lost its chance. It has no chance because it's fat. It wasn't that fucking good. I get it. It wasn't that good. Spawn came out first. Blade came out first. Get over it. Black Panther wasn't that good. You're not getting an Oscar. It's not getting Oscar nods. It was okay. We love Michael B. Jordan. He wasn't that good. Let it go. Let it.
Sir, you're missing a very important black superhero that you obviously forgot. Shaft.
Handyman. Oh,
come on, Shaft.
Is Shaft.
We have Shaft. Like that. Thank you.
Come on.
And
come on.
Blank Man. Like, come on. Like, I'm not
Handyman.
saying
and Handyman.
They were cropped up as much as they should have been. But like, I love you, Angela Bassett, and listen. Angela Bassett is still she's still fine, but let the Black Panther thing Go. Marvel ain't gonna get you an Oscar for Black Panther. And even the people who love Black Panther, you know,
All 5 of you.
they liked Blade.
Yeah. Look, Black Panther is a fine enough character to be on that action figure shelf. I like him in the comic books. I liked the guy that played him. But when he passed away, there's no reason to make more
Black
movies.
Panther, what was the storyline where Uatu's eye got lost?
You would know better than me. I don't do a lot of Cosmic Marvel or
Whatever. Unforgiven or the whatever. I love Black Panther in that storyline. He's probably the best character to be the man on the wall. I love that. I love it, Angela. I love it, and I love you. But there ain't gonna be an Oscar in it, boo boo. I'm just let it go.
Yeah, and the thing is with the Oscars is like they're bought and paid for. Like they're not earned. Like you have to campaign for them. You have to get your film in there, and and there's even been stuff. There's been so many video exposés about the Oscars where like once you're in for the running, then you can give the judges gifts, and they'll move your movie along and see if you win or not. So there's that too. So it's not really even an earned award or an accolade that means anything anymore these days. It's just it's just a celebration of these weirdos in Hollywood jerking each other off during this 3-hour award ceremony. That's all it is.
You do realize,
now Hollywood's in this weird thing where they have to pretend that wasn't a thing. Ever since Harvey Weinstein went down, now they're trying to pretend as if buying his approval and the approval of the other parts of the Academy wasn't a real thing. And I understand the business aspect of having to separate the Academy Awards from that. But, to Nick's point, that shit was going on for 70 years. You can't just like remove it and then be like, oh, Black Panther didn't get an Academy Award. And no, that's not how that works. It's, that's a different conversation that people just want to keep having. And it's like, listen, Black Panther ain't going to win an Oscar. Wanda Sykes ain't going to win an Oscar. Kevin Hart has to wait maybe a couple more years to host it.
He's too short.
And then we'll talk about it.
But Denzel Washington will just get a bunch more before he retires, and everyone else will bitch. And
that's fine.
Tyler Perry.
I'm okay with it.
He's an Oscar.
Hey. See, don't try to hurt me personally. That was an honorary Oscar. And it doesn't.
Still, he got the trophy. Just like the people that won the best picture for the movie about the lady banging the fish because of global warming or some shit. So there you go. That's the Academy people.
What?
We need to get Reginald Bill Johnson an Oscar.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Tyler Perry as long as it's not him, I'm okay with fish fucking saving the USSR. As long as it's not Tyler Perry, I'm okay with that. Fuck that guy.
What if Tyler Perry made a Shurikopter movie? Would you watch that, Dion?
I would watch it, and then if it's like, can you watch it with him and then headbutt him afterwards? Absolutely.
Now I'm going to ask that you
listen. His studio's right down the road. You can come down and say hi to him or whatever you want, Dion.
Can we go to the bathroom there and not flush the toilet?
Of course.
That's what I want to do.
We'll leave an upper decker too.
Listen, of all the things
you are class act, sir.
Makes us listen when this channel, my man, and when this channel makes us famous, I'm not gonna waste it on starting a fight with Kevin Federline. I'm gonna use it to meet Tyler Perry in person, and I'm gonna say you suck. And then if he doesn't like two things. Tyler Perry, you suck, headbutt, and everybody else knows Zack Snyder, you're fucking getting caught right here, dog. That's what I'm using this for.
The thing I'm using for is I'm gonna walk up to Jordan Peele very nice and be like, you're mediocre. Except for Monkey Man, thank you for that. But you're mediocre besides that. You and your previous boyfriend need to get back together and go back to make comedy. Like, do that. Don't do this horror shit. Suck at it.
Peele, I don't really like your movies, but I'm sorry for all the things my people have done to you, which caused you to make the Twilight Zone.
I like how you guys are just going to tell off all these actors you dislike. I'm just going to hook up with some famous woman and call it a day. That's it. I'm just going to retire.
That's why your name's on the marquee. We're the guys that are there, and we're in the fucking artwork. and we are settling old grudges from our childhoods.
That's really what it is.
And,
I would
and
love to
young
settle old
adulthood,
grudges.
because Zack Snyder, you fucked up Superman, and I will not ever forgive you for that.
He's the worst. Dude, I can't wait till
I will
July.
never let it go.
I
That,
hope
that
July
clip
is good.
of him at the Laugh Factory, I was like, I would kill for him to be like, I'm Zack Snyder. And I'm like, I'm in the audience right now. I would have killed for that moment.
I would have at least egged you on to stand up and call him a bitch. I wouldn't have told you to go fight him, but I'd be like, call him a bitch, stand up and call him a bitch so we can see you.
Dude.
We would goad the shit out of you to go
Yes.
up there and fight Zack Snyder. Be like,
Yeah,
hey,
I would have been
hey,
like, Dion, tell me the bitch.
Dion, all those times you said you were going to punch Zack Snyder in the face, money where your mouth is, baby. You got to go. If not, you're a bitch. You're just a bitch that talks. You're all talk, Dion. Go up there and slug him. You're not going to because you're a bitch. You're all talk, Dion. And this will go on until you do it. And then we have to watch you get arrested, which will be awesome. And then we will bail you out of jail, so it's okay.
And if you do it in Los Angeles, you won't get arrested.
Listen,
That's
listen,
true.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
true.
be like, wait.
The cops
wait,
just
wait.
won't show up.
Yeah, they'll be like,
We'll
wait,
call
wait.
them. They'll just not
in
show up.
California.
Yeah.
No,
they'll be like,
I
wait,
take it
Zack
back.
Snyder's white. Dion's black. No
El-
crime here.
No, it's not about white and black in California. It's about classism. It's like, oh man, there's a guy on the street bleeding. We'll get there later. Hey, Zack Snyder got yelled at by a black guy. You can't even finish the call and they're there arresting Dion. It's like in Beverly Hills Cop. This is for jaywalking, you know?
Yeah, that's
you're disturbing the peace. That's what it
But
is.
don't worry, Dion.
I can throw through a fucking window.
We will get you bailed out before they throw you out of a window.
Appreciate it.
Let's bail this piece of crap out of its box, shall we? You guys ready?
Yeah,
for this?
yeah.
Sure, why not?
All right.
So,
I mean,
folks, let me get
I
some
got
more
nothing else to
light.
do.
Wait, let me just turn on my lamp. Yes, there. So more light is better for the Shuricopter, right? Because we can see this piece of garbage.
Kind of. Sure.
So, this retailed for $20. I got this for $2.99 with a coupon. $2.99, folks.
Yeah, it's still $2.99 too much.
Jeez.
There you go. You ready to see what's in a Shuricopter box? Because I am. All right. Here we go.
I bet there's a Shuricopter in there.
That's it. Just a figure in the copter. That's it. Nothing else.
Oh my god, I bought this. Fuck. Okay, let's see what it looks like.
It
Wow,
runs on
they are,
Wakanda power.
dude. They're so cheap. They don't even have cable ties. They just tie it in with string. Here, I'm
Really?
gonna show my. Yeah, this isn't cable. It's like
So
just
they
string.
don't care if you steal them. That's even funnier.
Oh my god.
No, you know what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull a System of a Down. Instead of steal this album, steal these toys, please. It'll just be like an official sticker they put on everything.
No, you don't want to do that because then they could, yeah.
No, I mean Marvel will do that to get people to buy
Oh, of
this
course.
shit out of sympathy.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for anything.
Oh no, you did. You couldn't make
Cross
somebody
your
feel that
T's,
much.
dot your lower cross or your lowercase J's.
There you go.
You know, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, all that fun Hulk Hogan shit. I don't know. Are steroids prayer or vitamins? Is that what he's talking about?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm just
Hogan
cutting
in the
these off.
80s, could have been
Yeah.
steroids. It could have been cocaine. Tomato, tomato.
Do you think steroids and cocaine made an interesting cocktail?
Yeah. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
At least for a weekend.
Oh, yeah. Wow, this is as underwhelming as I thought it would be. Here we go. This is the Shuricopter contents, folks. This is what we joke about every week. Here's a Shuricopter, and here's Shuri. So you get an action figure. I own this. There we go. There she is.
Oh my god.
Let's put her in her... Man, remember when we were kids, we had like X-Wings with cockpits and stickers? No, they just put this like random control stick in the front of it and call it a day. So we put Shuri...
What the fuck?
Oh, this is so bad. Okay, so you put it, in the thing. There she is. She's flying in the Shuricopter, and it fires a disc. I think. Nope, that makes the wings pop back. All right. So the wings move, and that's about it. That's the Shuricopter.
It doesn't
But
even
it does
fire a
this.
disc? What the fuck?
Hold on. Is this the disc firing button? Hit my camera. All right. So yeah, that's the Shuricopter. It sucks. Now, here's the fun
and they
part.
thought people would spend $20 on that fucking thing.
It's Black Panther, man. It's November. They're trying to do something with it, man. It just didn't work. What do I do with the Shuricopter now? Because I don't want this.
I don't know.
Do I break it?
I guess.
No, just take it to Goodwill. Next time you're out and about, just drop it off at your local Goodwill and be like, you guys could probably not even just give this away because nobody's gonna. You can put a 25-cent sticker on here and people probably still won't buy it. I would say give it to some poor, unfortunate kid, but that kid's already got enough problems. He doesn't deserve that too.
Doesn't deserve a Shuricopter.
No,
And he ain't
that just
taking
makes
out a Shuricopter. That's for damn
it's
sure.
like, man, these poor kids' life can't get any worse. Yes, they can. You can give them a Shuricopter. That will make their lives even worse.
I love
terrible.
that they cut every corner, but they gave her like high top gym shoes. They made sure they sculpted all the details of her high top gym shoes, but there's no paint on anything. Thanks, Hasbro. You really
Jeez.
cheaped out.
Well, I mean, they gotta try to make as much money as they can on nothing. So
There we go, Clone Geek. Next time I see a homeless person, I'm just gonna say, "Here you go, man. This is better than food. This is better than money.
Yeah.
This is Shuricopter."
I mean,
oh,
look,
my God.
I understand you really want booze, but I understand you'll take a sandwich. But you know what? Here's a Shuricopter.
Put. It's so dumb. The weird thing is, it's like an odd scale action figure, so I don't think I could put anybody else in the Shuricopter. Like, here's Luke Skywalker in the Shuricopter. He's tiny. There you go, Dion. Does that remind you of being a kid?
Hell yeah. Just
This is
pretend
when he
that it's
escaped from Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's a land speeder. Just pretend it's a land speeder, kids.
Oh God.
I got a land speeder in the box back there. I'm not going to open it up, but I got
Oh
one.
yeah.
Let's check in because we had a lot of 2 super chats from Darian217. Thank you, Darian, for both of these very generous super chats. We can meet up together in Las Vegas at a strip bar, talk it out like Axel Foley. I finally watched Axel F 2 weeks ago when a friend came by. Movie was great. I enjoyed it. Axel button, pick one. Of course I'm going to give you an Axel Foley button. By the way, Dion, I have some good news. I went on La La Land Records as a joke earlier, and the Beverly Hills Cop 3 score is available. So I bought a copy. You should buy a copy because there's only 1,500 of them printed, and then it's gone.
Send me that link. Send it to me.
I will, because I bought you part 4.
worst
You
case
should go back and get 1
scenario-
and 2.
I can just do my man. Worst case scenario, I'll just make Hillary, who's working on overtime, buy me one.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Do you love
Now-
me or not? Buy it.
Be like, hey, for an anniversary present, you gotta buy me this.
Hell yeah. Do it 7 months early.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you guys, your anniversary is not for a while.
Yeah, till December.
Just bad.
It just happened. Well, here you go,
Yeah,
Dion. I'll send
7
you
months is September, Dion.
That's why I have you guys here to come to the timelines.
Dude, the thing is, I don't even know what your anniversary is, but
That's not
it's
the
in
point.
December.
But
I can tell you that
I
just
have-
happened.
Shut up. I'm not gonna feel bad about having my podcast mates and my sister keep track of all these things for me.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, ours is in November, and I completely forgot it this year until like 9 o'clock that night.
That doesn't make me
Goddamn.
feel better.
The
And
whole
it
time I was
also,
walking around,
it also
I was
makes
like,
me laugh.
today is something. I don't know what it is. So I even looked the date up on like Wikipedia. I'm like, what the hell is today? It's like a historical thing because I'll have that happen where I'm like, yeah, today's like the first day of the Battle of the Yadrang Valley, the U.S. NVA, which that's actually when our anniversary is. And I was just like, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. And I just, till about 9 o'clock that night, I'm like, holy shit, this is our wedding anniversary.
Nick, aren't you glad we don't have these problems?
Well, first of all, I put it in my phone forever. I don't know why you haven't done that yet. Come on, 2 seconds.
'Cause I'm usually very good about remembering dates.
Yeah, but like technology exists for a reason. You know, you're a busy guy. You got a lot of things
your
going on.
birthday is in, but I don't know the exact date because I don't.
Which
care
is
about
fine.
it as
I don't-
much as the
I-
other two.
Which is fine. I don't expect anybody to know my birthday and date.
We're all
That's
in
fine.
a row.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
know my
October,
mom's
November,
this is-
December, and
birthday
January.
because my
But,
mom
like-
shares a literal birthday with Jim Cornette and a spiritual same day birthday as the biracial angel Patrick Mahomes, and so and it's also Constitution Day. So I mean, I know all these things. I just don't remember Nick's birthday, and I forgot our anniversary this year.
Which is fine. But like, you need to step it up, sir. Put it in your phone and make sure it reminds you every year.
She didn't get that mad because we had a lot of shit going on. So she's like,
Okay,
yeah,
that's good. All right.
She had sort of almost forgotten.
She
as
didn't.
well, too,
she
so.
didn't stab you this time. That's good. That's good.
No, I mean I was still an asshole for
She
forgetting.
has
you
a
know,
very, very cute half Caucasian baby now. So yeah, she can
That'll
afford.
do it.
Yeah, because as much as I love you and I love you, we're Coos Bros. I 100% love your son more, but that's okay. That's not the point. The point is,
dude,
Damn.
look, if 8 days of the week, if you guys are like, I'm picking your kid over you, I'm like, I understand that, and that's fine because I would expect that to happen. I would expect if we were both like hanging on one string and you can only save one, take him, let me drop. I'm fine with that. Just tell him
But
how cool
he's-
his dad was before he
he's-
fell to his death.
We'll give him copies of the book. Don't worry. He'll know exactly how you are. Like, yeah, your dad kidnapped an actor once. We saved Portland. Like, yeah, your dad was
Allegedly.
a hero. Damn it.
right?
Allegedly.
And
Well,
then
we
you'd be
actually
like,
we
you
saved
know,
Portland.
we saved Portland. My godfather's black children tell me stuff. Whatever. He
Your
won't
dad
have to
used to
worry
be called
about it.
Couch Kendo.
Right. And he'll
He had a
also
playlist.
know how to grill and fry a Cornish hen. That's all that matters. Who cares?
I've never done that with a Cornish hen, but I could try.
You would get it because you can cook. At the same time, when we do the stabbing cabin, I'm gonna whoop your ass in the cook-off. Love it.
Kick your ass later.
That's
That
He
is,
hit his finger
that
on
is
the
why
button
he's
the whole time. The whole
no, I
time.
didn't.
that is why he's my best friend. That explains it perfectly. He just
There-
fucking pulled that shit out. I'm gonna
Dude, the
kick your
thing
ass.
Dion and I in a cook-off competition, there are no losers because everybody's
There are
winning
no
that.
losers.
Yeah,
We all
exactly.
win.
It's like we're gonna
It's
eat some
personal thing.
extremely fucking good food no matter what happens.
And we
Yeah, let's
get
just
to-
turn the stabbing cabin into a
Yeah, I
cook-off.
might get a giant box of Omaha steaks and just bring them with me. So you
Please
guys
do.
can,
Don't tease
do
us.
whatever.
Jesus, dog.
Nick, what is your definition of a giant box? Because if you got like 50 steaks for the four of us, I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
That can be
about
arranged.
this?
That's not a problem.
Nick, when I was told to bring beer for us for 4
Oh,
days,
fuck you!
in New
Oh, fuck
Orleans,
you!
you need to think of that same thing for 4 days or 5 days. The amount of meat that it would take for us to be happy. That's what you need to be putting it into. And if the stabbing cabin has a smoker, we got to get a couple of briskets because one brisket gets marinated in Coke, the other one gets marinated in Sprite, and they both taste amazing. So
I have a smoker, a Traeger. If we want to rent a hitch, I'll bring my Traeger down. We can set. We rent a cabin and I put my own smoker in it. It's pretty cool,
That's
actually.
fine. That's fine.
I mean,
That's fine.
one, that's great, but two, charcoal is the way to go. But I can live with a Traeger if I absolutely have
Dude,
to.
a pellet
I
smoker is
prefer-
legit.
It is, but I prefer the old-fashioned way of some charcoal and some wood chunks. And
This is a propane podcast. We don't.
I
talk
have a
about
propane grill
We're
too.
talking about protein and propane.
We don't say the
accessories.
C word.
Hey.
Exactly.
There are benefits to not just using propane. I started putting charcoal in my oven because it's been so cold. So I'm just saying propane's awesome. I'm not going to get rid of my propane accessories. But
Whoa.
I love my Blackstone. I am very happy with a propane grill like that. I am also very happy with my Weber kettle too. So, yeah.
I want to get a Blackstone. When I buy a house, that's the first thing I'm buying is a griddle.
Oh,
for the
dude,
back.
my brother got one for Christmas. He loves it. Loves
That's
I just
literally
want-
the first thing I got when we moved out here. I'm like, hey, look, we got a little patio. We had a patio on the res too, but I'm like, you know what? I didn't bring my old grill because I didn't want to transport that thing. I need to buy a new one. I'm getting a Blackstone because one, it's expensive and I want to, dunk on the neighbors. And two, it's easier to clean up because I don't have to figure out where to dump all the ashes in this tiny little townhouse lot. So that's what we did.
You just let him go to the wind in Vegas.
That
Darian,
is definitely something that could happen.
Candle in the wind has a different meaning.
Well, hey man, at least if there are embers in those ashes, it won't like set an entire city on fire.
There you go. Darian217 says, let's see someone that deserves an Oscar. Chris Rock sold that slap scene around the world. If you still have the button, if not, does he look like a bitch? So, Darian, those are two copyright buttons that we had to get rid of because they always got dinged. So if you want to just send a regular message and a request for something else, I'm very happy to press that. But those are two we had to get rid of because they just demonetize the video, and it makes you look bad in the algorithm. Ooh, barbecue's the best. Elizabeth, barbecue's the best. Are you a Memphis or St. Louis style? I prefer Memphis myself.
Is that a
Memphis is
serious
good.
question that you're actually asking me?
No, I'm asking Elizabeth in the
City
chat.
style. But Kansas City and St. Louis are pretty much. If you go to there and you say that to either one of them, that they're pretty much the same thing, those are fighting words. But I, as an unbiased person that's from that state, I can tell you, they're Kansas City and St. Louis are pretty much the same thing. But
And that is exactly why, in terms of barbecue, you have to be careful when you're dealing with the southern part of the Midwest, because those motherfuckers from Missouri and Kansas take it so serious.
yes, and then you'll have people from Alabama be like, Alabama barbecue sauce is the best back. You put mayonnaise in it, you
Us
lose.
Northerners,
White stuff? No, thank you.
That's an automatic defeat. You put
Oh,
mayonnaise
100%.
in your
100%.
barbecue sauce, you lose, sir.
Good day.
listen, the rest of us just know that it's delicious, and we just let you guys get upset about it because
Yeah, pretty much.
St. Louis barbecue is delicious. It's just and then we just benefit from y'all taking it and getting it so mad, and that's okay.
It's literally like the arms race of Missouri, Kansas City and St. Louis, like building up, like to try to take the other one down. If you were from somewhere else and you come in there and eat it, if you blind taste it, you're not going to taste it. You're like, you're going to have no idea. But if you're like somebody that's had both and you're from there and you've had them both a lot, you can tell the difference. And I can tell you that the difference is so subtle, it doesn't matter. They're both pretty much the same. They're both better than everybody else's, except for maybe Texas sometimes. Maybe.
Texas has too much. Okay, Texas gets DQ'd for me because I don't do beef ribs, pork ribs only. So I want baby back, Memphis style, St. Louis style, one of those.
Well, that's because
Brisket, though.
you're a very sassy gal.
I like my barbecue, man. I accept no substitutes.
Look,
Beef ribs are.
you can beef rib it. It's fine. Yeah, beef ribs
I don't
done
want a
right
beef
taste
rib.
really good.
They are good, but like if I have a choice, I'm always picking a baby back rib. Always.
I get you, but beef ribs. You just gotta slow cook them. You got.
Yes.
I've had delicious beef ribs, but I'm just saying, like, it's picking. It's like, all right, Dion, you've had Domino's, you've had Hungry Howie's. Gun to your head, you'll pick one if you have to pick one.
Yeah, Hungry
They both
Howie's.
suck. Yeah, Hungry Howie's is slightly better than Domino's.
Yeah.
Slightly. You know what? Let's get back on topic. Darian sent in this requested button.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
That's one of my favorites.
I love that button. I just love Chris Tucker or Chris Rock. Who should get an Oscar? I say Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Rock.
Overall, I'm going Rock.
Yes, The Rock. He should never win an Oscar. John,
I love Moana.
he's got some new movie. I got tagged on a post in social media. Like he's in some Hawaii crime thriller. And my first thought was, is this how they ripped off Hawaii during the fires? But
Yeah,
then,
it's supposed to be him and Wahlberg, I think.
Oh,
again,
is it like a Netflix movie or something? Is it one of those?
I don't know if it's Netflix, but it's apparently it's a Scorsese movie.
Oh, wait. The new one he's doing?
yeah,
It's crazy.
The Rock and Scorsese.
Yep.
It'll probably be.
Oh,
about
he
as good as
must
Red One.
have paid a lot to get into that role.
The Rock does have that kind of power. Like if he wants to be in your movie, he could just pay you, and then you pay him even more.
I love how he's going from Red One to like a Scorsese movie. That's funny.
Well,
With a
in the
detour to the
future, man,
WWE.
especially with guys like Scorsese who want their movies to do well. I wouldn't be surprised that Scorsese guys like him go with names they think are big money, and him and The Rock. Scorsese's what, 80 something? He doesn't know that The Rock is
Not a draw anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't know that The Rock's not that guy anymore. And then you're gonna do a fucking gangster movie of the Hawaiian underworld, which would be very, very interesting. But The Rock has annoyed everyone with his thing. It's just, I would not have gone that way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go see it day one, but good for The Rock. I don't wish him anything bad.
Yeah.
John Thomas says it couldn't even have a push button to make the propeller spin. Cheap AF. Yeah, it's got, like I said, John, it's got this little tab that makes the wings go up that far and down. So there you go. And you can shoot out this little blue disc, and that's it. So I hit my liquid death that time. This was $20 fucking. I paid $3. It's the quality of the plastic is pretty cheap. You know, it's crazy. It looks like it has a battery compartment, but it doesn't. It just has a million.
Oh,
screws on
so
the
they
bottom.
use the bottom mold of something else probably to, like, you know.
Dude, the worst toy when we were kids, not worse, but it was disappointing. You remember Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad? It was like that Power Rangers ripoff.
A little bit.
Well, long story short, those toys all had battery compartments, but they were so cheap when they brought them to America, they just took out all the things, so you'd get a battery pack and it wouldn't do anything. Like,
Oh, that's
it was
fucking terrible.
It seemed like a bootleg toy, but it was the real deal.
Oh, that's so fucking terrible.
Thank you, Gridman. Thank you, John Thomas, as well. Xavier to God, what is up? He says, can Logan Paul get taken out before entering the chamber by Randy Orton or someone, and they take his place? Kendo do not like American Badass character?
+1.
No,
for-
I was not a fan of the Underbiker, but that's because I was there when the Undertaker first debuted. I, as a child, was not afraid of, Old West zombie Undertaker that would beat guys and zip them up in body bags and have promos where he was making caskets and stuff. I thought that shit was cool. I liked that. And silver, purple, whichever one he was wearing, I was I was a big fan. When he came back as, kind of a leather daddy, so to speak, as the Ministry of Evil, still was on board. And then, he went away and he came back as the Underbiker. And I'm just like, no, I'm not as on board anymore. I don't like the Underbiker. I like my undead wrestler gimmick thing. I'm good with that.
I am cool with American Badass because I like the song Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, and the motorcycle was cool. And yeah, man, I went to a SmackDown as a kid and he came out the Rollin' and everyone's like cheering and dancing. I'm like, this is fun. I had the album. I don't care. I bought a Limp Bizkit CD once 25 years ago. Nobody's perfect.
Proudly say I've never purchased a Limp Bizkit CD.
Was it?
Did you ever buy a Korn?
Was it?
I hated Korn too.
Oh God, no! I actually liked Korn. I had a lot of their stuff.
I did not like Korn. I was not a fan. I'm like, no, metal is supposed to be metal, and you're not supposed to rap in your metal. Although they wanted to put Freaks on a Leash, so I'm totally okay with that idea.
I just love that 25 years later, we're talking about it, and Kendo sounds like all the dudes that hate it.
Dude, I'll say this, Dion. I went to a hockey game last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and My Way played in that opening, boom, 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 and I was talking to people in the thing, and I stopped and I looked up to the sky like the WrestleMania promo started. It was just like this bat signal, like, oh shit, here we go, and then they hit the alarm, and then the game started. I was like, fuck, man, I was ready for WrestleMania. That song works, man. Every time we're somewhere and that song comes on, we all get quiet and we're just like, all right, we're gonna let this one play out, and then we all start randomly quoting the promo. We've all done this before.
Yo, man, listen. The only time that I like Limp Bizkit, and Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit were doing I think it was like the Bastards tour with Corey Feldman or whatever.
Oh shit!
And apparently it went well, and I would have gone, but yeah, that time period of WrestleMania 17 to when was Shane and Kane? Was that No Mercy of 2000 and
Survivor Series 03?
Yeah, to that time frame, 01 to 03. Limp Bizkit was okay. I love all that shit,
dude. I recently learned
Limp Bizkit was never okay.
They were all right. They were all right. They were
during wrestling. Oh my god!
Only Limp Bizkit song I will be okay with was the one from Mission Impossible 2.
I love that song. I got the instrumental of it. It's
when they did the original song, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, they do a cover. It's called "Take a Look Around."
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
But I will say,
remember that
I'm slightly put off that Dion would put one of the greatest guitarists of our generation, Corey Feldman, in the same category as Limp Bizkit. Did you see that solo?
I need that as a button. Nick, find me that clip. I'll make that a button.
All right, fine.
Xavier to God, thank you very much for letting us go back in time and relive American Badass.
By the way, apparently Martin Scorsese is working with A24 to make the movie with DiCaprio, Blunt, and Dwayne Johnson. So yeah,
man, what a trio!
Movie?
It's coming. It's coming out sometime this year. There's no name for it yet. There's no name for it. They haven't said the name at all. So,
but it's 2025.
Correct.
That means that they're spending a lot of money on it. If we don't know the name of it by it's February 2025 and it's coming out this year, they're not cheaping on that movie. Damn, that's crazy. A24. I hope you know what you're doing.
Is it A24? Let me see. Let me make
Dion,
sure.
how would you feel if it was referred to? It officially was called Untitled Martin Scorsese Film. Would you go watch it?
Everybody would go watch it, especially with that title.
And then I would be texting Jeff, and if he didn't go, I would be mad because I would be inebriated at the time. But at the same time, I would also be like, "What's the name? Did they come up with a name yet?"
Yeah, they call it Point Break.
I am an FBI agent, brother.
Dude, how terrible would a Point Break remake with Leonardo DiCaprio and The Rock be? Like, just actually picture it. Leonardo DiCaprio is Johnny Utah and The Rock is Bodie.
It had to
he
be
basically is like
they made.
Fair enough.
No. Sorry. Okay, sorry. No, I read the article wrong. Johnson and Emily Blunt both got together in a movie they're doing called Smashing Machine for A24. That's coming out later this year, but they're going to write this Scorsese movie coming out at some point, probably next year.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry. I
Scorsese.
Yeah.
Scorsese hasn't been the same since the Coke, so one day.
What? Well, I mean, this is probably going to be his last movie.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah, probably before he croaks. Jeez.
Scorsese or The Rock?
Yes.
Oh shit! I like The Rock. I don't want him to go anywhere. You know, if you listen to me,
they both take an equal amount of drugs. All right,
Yep.
I don't care how hard The Rock
one's
is working out.
performance enhancing, one is not.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't care how much like fucking bland chicken The Rock has been eating. Him and Scorsese are gonna croak about at the same time.
I wouldn't
Any
be
of you
mad.
out there believe that he's eating chicken breasts and steaks to get that big by himself. He's lying.
He did have gynecomastia, and he had that surgery. See,
That's
folks, you're
true.
probably like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, The Rock had breast reduction surgery in 1999 because he was going to main event WrestleMania, and so to look the part, he got this surgery, but he couldn't take time off, so he wrestles in this random tracksuit, which has become like a classic look. But there are matches where he's in it and he gets punched, and the shirt flies up, and he's got tape over his nipples where he had the surgery. And then at WrestleMania, he looks like a completely different person. He walks out, and you're like, okay, that's The Rock. But like that build, you clearly could see that he had undergone under the knife. It was interesting. Listen to this show, you think I hate The Rock. I don't. I like
Really.
wrestling.
Yeah, sometimes when you go on about him, I'm just like, does Jeff really like him, or is it just a kind of a hate thing now?
No, I have nothing. I like the wrestler version. I am on board 100%. I just don't like his movies. They're very generic. Like the Fast and Furious has some generic moments, but The Rock's movies are just those moments. Like everyone is super generic and cheesy, and I honestly don't understand why people like them because they're not great. Like I'm trying to think of a good one. Moana was enjoyable because it was, artistic and fun, but like Red One was shitty, dude.
There was one he did with Mark Wahlberg that was like a Michael Bay
Pain and
movie.
Gain was good.
Pain and
Pain and Gain was great.
Yep, I love
The
Pain
Rock
and Gain.
has a lot more positive movies than Jeff gives him credit. It's just that the movies that he's done that are bad are really bad.
Yeah, like I think Black Adam was a waste of my time. That movie was like Pierce Brosnan was great, but the rest of it was not.
Black Adam was Elektra. That was my problem.
Yeah, the only superhero movie I've ever turned off.
Well, not to mention he also had like Rampage and Skyscraper, which were like solid Oscar nods. Let's be honest.
And don't forget,
Listen, The Rock. Listen, I have given up on The Rock being a serious movie character specifically because he takes himself too serious. And say what you want about Jeff, right? Like, especially when he likes somebody, you can't take yourself too serious. And that was The Rock's problem. Like, we watched Faster was good, and you were in the Fast and the Furious, 2 movies with Fast in the title. Cool. But he took himself way too fucking serious. And then you come back to wrestling, and then you're like, oh, I'm done, kind of. And it's like he takes himself too serious, and that affects your work. And The Rock's never going to admit that. You know, movie stars are never going to admit that. You know, Tom Cruise is about to run into that shit this summer, coming up with the next Mission Impossible movie. When you
do you think that's going to be a hit?
No,
it's. I think. I mean, I think it's gonna be fun, but I don't think people are gonna go watch it.
I think Nick and I will love it. But
I liked the last one too.
Listen, exactly. I think the new one's gonna make its money back. I'll say that. I think it's gonna make its money back, and everyone will enjoy it. But it's not gonna be the next $1 billion film. And you know, Tom Cruise is doing everything to make that not the case. And you know, Tom Cruise, The Rock, Kevin Costner, they're all facing the same problem. You can't take yourself too fucking serious.
I forgot Kevin Costner was even a person.
Yeah,
he won't let the Yellowstone thing die.
Yeah, I know.
He's obsessed with it.
I haven't look. That's all he's got these days.
Dude, there was an ad the other day during the race, and it was for a show on Fox Nation. And it's Kevin Costner returns to Wyoming or something like that to go tour Yellowstone National Park. I'm like, I mean, I'm all for like watching like nature shows and stuff like that. I think it's cool when they go and they show like really neat shit like that, like the fucking the squirter thing going up and down, Old Faithful. And,
the squirter.
You know, that's fine.
What was that chick's name? Cytherea?
Sure.
That was cool. Anyway, never mind.
You just killed
Yellowstone National Park.
We were there. Cytherea is a hero amongst all of us.
I can't believe that. That couldn't have been real, but you know, whatever.
Like, I get that. But it's like,
she
was
putting a hose in there.
The entire
Speaking of hose.
Kevin Costner was on the show called Yellowstone. You loved Yellowstone. Well, Yellowstone is a real place, and he's going to go tour there, watching on Fox Nation. It's like, no, I'm not going to, but okay.
Is there like a Yellowstone 1924 with Harrison Ford?
No,
Is that
1922. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
1923.
Yes. So there's a prequel.
And there's also an 1888 with Sam Elliott.
Yes. So 1883 is Sam Elliott. 1923 is the one with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. And then they have some other adjacent show with so he has a whole universe that people don't want to watch.
You can also at Walmart get Yellowstone meat sticks like Slim Jims. You can also get Yellowstone chili and all sorts of Yellowstones. I know these things because, well, one, I work at Walmart. I don't work at Walmart. I go to Walmart. I should fucking kill myself if I worked at Walmart. And two, because it's on Paramount Plus, because I pay for Paramount Plus still to this day, specifically so my dad can watch these shows. I would still pay for it if I really cared about watching Manchester United play and European games that I didn't have to watch in Spanish, but they suck. So I'm really only paying for it so my dad gets entertained. Although he told me Landon's with Billy Bob Thornton is a very good show. I should watch that.
Oh, well, apparently that's a copy of Yellowstone because like there was some little clip I saw of
that
show,
takes place in Texas, Nick. Texas and Wyoming are
you talking about Tyler Sheridan shows? They're all the same show, essentially, Nick?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Nick
Tulsa
does
King
not know geography, people. Oh yeah, Tulsa King's supposed to be good. Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner is supposed to be very good too.
I turned it off. I thought it was going to be as good as Tulsa King.
Because he didn't shoot anybody with a bow and arrow?
No. And Linda Cardellini wasn't there either, and that just, she'll sell anything to me, but I didn't love this show.
Yeah, that happens, but...
Listen, there's only one way The Rock can redeem himself, okay? He has to do the Johnny Bravo movie, all right?
He's got to do Yellowstone Part 2, more yellow, more stone.
Oh, yeah. I want to see The Rock in Yellowstone. I want to see The Rock in, I want to see The Rock play Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, my God, yes.
They made Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I just want to see The Rock as Abraham. Oh, no. What is the best, worst historical casting The Rock could play outside of Hercules? Like, give me a good one.
JFK.
The Rock is
Yeah.
JFK.
The Rock is
MLK.
JFK.
No,
Well,
Dion, you're right. MLK.
MLK,
Two
dude.
problems.
Let's fucking
with that.
go. We got The Rock telling, what's the governor of Alabama? Do you smell what the king is cooking?
But there's two
No
problems
rolls,
with that.
jabroni.
The Rock supposedly has something in his contracts where he's not allowed to lose fights. And last time I checked, Martin Luther King Jr. and JFK both lost a fight that is relatively notable.
Well, is a bullet really a competitor in a fight? Is this just a
Right.
losing battle?
Right. That's
Lots of people lose to those,
James
so
Earl
yes.
Ray cheated.
So what you're telling me is they're going to make a Martin Luther King movie starring The Rock, but they change the history due to a contractual obligation, so The Rock just kind of survives and smiles and rides off into the sunset?
Sure, why not?
Essentially, both those guys got worked into a real shoot match, so it didn't work out. And
Shut up.
I'm just using wrestling terminology here, Jeff.
Get out of here. I'm fed up with this
Oh
world.
my god.
Hey, look, Darien217's been waiting. Thank you, Darien217. Can you hear Vice Admiral Holdo figure ride in the Shuricopter, Jeff? I don't have any Vice Admiral Holdo action figures, thankfully. And no, Shuri's a little, well, I think she might. I got Princess Leia somewhere. We'll see if she fits in there. Also, ask Dr. Meatball. She's already got a stick up her rear. Might as well have one between her legs, too, while she's riding the copter.
Oh my god.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I kind of want to buy a Vice Admiral Holdo now to put in a Shuricopter and then melt them together.
There you go.
There you go.
We should play a game called How to Waste $5, and I'll just buy any
jeez.
action figure at Ollie's. Thank you, though, Arian217. Thank you, Dr. Meatball, as well. John Thomas says, Kendo is vastly mistaken wrong. Uneducated Bryant's or Gates Barbecue are way better than anything St. Louis has ever produced. What
Uh-oh.
is Bryant's or Gates Barbecue?
I mean, there are probably places in Kansas City, and again, I've been to Kansas City many times. I've had many Kansas City barbecues. Again, they're all good. There is enough that you can tell if you're experienced with eating St. Louis or Kansas City barbecue to tell the difference. I'm talking about outsiders, people from nowhere near there that would be like, I want to try all the barbecue, and they try St. Louis and they try Kansas City. They're going to think they taste the same. And if you really, really want to get, you got to go to like the actual like ideal places, not the generic like St. Louis style barbecue or Kansas City style barbecue, the chain places, because you're just going to get just I don't know. He can say that. Where is that? Is that Kansas? Yeah, again, you're gonna find places that, yes, those particular places like Jack Stacks and stuff like that are gonna outdo something if you go to just like Bandanas or something in St. Louis. But if you go to like Smoke and Salt, you're gonna be like, well, shit, this is actually pretty good. So, or shit, the place that me and Nathan always go to. Fuck, why can't I think of it? The one. Oh, it's gonna bother me, and I got to look it up now because it's not Pappy's. Pappy's is good, but fuck, BBQ Arnold, Missouri.
Dude, I gotta say though,
used to give out baseball cards.
This better be the world's best barbecue.
Sugar Fire.
That's the best one.
No,
dude,
it's not, but it's very good.
I'm just looking at the prices of some of this shit. Yeah, they want $29.50 for a slab of ribs. That's not that bad, but like a combo plate is $38.50 for 3 ribs and 2 portions of meat. It better be the best barbecue ever.
Yeah, that's a fucking lot.
A party tray is $90 and a large party plus, I don't even know what that means, is $175.
What the fuck, man? Jeez.
It better be the world. And
Yeah,
it's 67 cents for barbecue sauce.
That's an odd amount.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot.
Doesn't mean we're not going to get it though.
True.
I would look. There's places I would say, yeah, we got to go here. We got to go here. We got to go here. If we're in those areas, but at the same time, they're both practically the same. There's not much difference between Kansas City and St. Louis style barbecue, is what I'm trying to say. Especially to a lay person that is not exactly from that area that's going to know about these things. Like, it's just not going to work. I mean, I went to Smokehouse Barbecue. The last time I was in Kansas City, I went to Smokehouse Barbecue. It was very good. I got the brisket and rib platter, again, good, with the smoked beans and corn. I don't know how they smoked them beans, but they did. And I even had a smoked Scotch, whatever, which I mean, scotch is already kind of smoky anyway, but somehow it was a smoked scotch. Very good. I had smoked it. Again, I had all these wonderful things, but the people I was with, specifically one person, had went to school in Kansas or in St. Louis as well. She's like, St. Louis and Kansas City barbecue, they're supposed to be different, aren't they? I'm like, they're subtly different. She couldn't tell the difference between the ones she's had before in St. Louis and the ones she had in Kansas City. That's what I'm trying to say. And you're not going to get a fight out of me because I love both cities.
Here's my favorite restaurant, barbecue-wise. This is George Washington's Barbecue, located on the moon.
Okay, right there is the best barbecue because that's the most American patriotic barbecue you're ever going to find.
Served by George Washington himself. When you founded America, you don't just die and go off into the sky. You actually go off into space and land on the moon. So after George Washington colonized the moon, he opened up his barbecue joint. There's actually 15 locations on the dark side and only one on the light side. Folks, you got to try it. It's divine. Now I'm
I can dig it.
Kendo, I had Jet's Pizza for dinner, and now I'm hungry for leftovers, so I know what I'm doing
Nice.
for the show.
I had the wife's spaghetti for dinner, and for lunch I had some Screaming Sicilian pizza. They're not sponsoring us, but if they did, I'd be happy.
Me too. Their pizzas are good.
I enjoy them.
So, guys, we have talked about, let's see, James Bond. We talked about the lady that did the OnlyFans gangbang is pregnant. Wakanda Forever. I guess the only thing left to say is, folks, I watched the new Spider-Man cartoon out of boredom, just in my off time. It is not the best Spider-Man cartoon, but it's not the worst. And when he gets the red and blue suit, it does look pretty good. I don't like the frame rate on the animation, and some of the changes are arbitrary and silly, but you can find a worse representation of the character. So take it from me. I'm not reeing out over Black Harry Osborn. Like, I don't love it, but it's also a different reality. So this whole show, there's like a time loop element where the first episode, Spider-Man runs into Doctor Strange fighting a symbiote, and then the last episode, Peter Parker runs into Doctor Strange fighting a symbiote, and that's how, through the multi-dimensional portal, a spider bites Peter. And then the last episode, you're in Oscorp, and Spider-Man's fighting with Doctor Strange to close a portal, and that portal takes him to the very first episode. So this isn't even regular Spider-Man. Like, you remove yourself from that. If you're looking for something fun to like to watch the character do, the last couple episodes are legit. He fights the Scorpion, Doc Ock's coming. Don't get Disney Plus for it, but it's not that bad, but it's not Spectacular Spider-Man. I have a very high standard for the character, and this one is right in the middle. So give it a watch if you're curious. Honestly, if you need the story, watch all of it. If you really just want the Spider-Man shit, like start at episode 4 or 5. He'll get a couple different suits, and then, it all changes up. I didn't like that twist, Clone Geek, but to be fair, I don't know. I just don't like that twist. I don't like his parents being alive. So
That's weird.
not really. Yeah, his dad's in jail. At the very last clip is like his dad in prison. He's just an old Peter Parker.
Okay, that's
He's supposed to be a
weird.
spy. Him and his wife are like James Bond, and they get captured and killed at one point by the Red Skull. They team up with Wolverine when he's young.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. That's weird.
I don't
But
love it either.
that wouldn't make sense because Wolverine would have still been old. Yeah, so like,
Well,
I
he
don't
never ages, really.
yeah, but he wouldn't have been a kid when
Oh no, he wasn't a kid. He teamed up with them during World War II, and they were spies. He was in the war too.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Xavier to God, that's the show that I tried to watch and turned right the hell off. Spider-Man from 2017 is garbage. And I understand people would like to criticize, you can't talk about this show, it's a kid's show. They make a $200 hot toy doll for this new Spider-Man show. That is not for kids. So why would you make merchandise that those kids can't afford? That doesn't make sense. So that's really all I got to say about it. I hate the theme song, and that's it. So, guys, is there anything else you really want to talk about? Was there something else, Nick, that you brought up this week, right?
I sent you a lot of stuff. I forget what it's about.
Did you guys talk about Amazon buying MGM?
We
did.
That was the opener.
I did post something about Kindle not letting you download your books anymore. That's that's happening. There's going to be, you're not allowed to download or even own your books anymore. They can even go back through and edit them too as well. So there's that.
Eat a dick, Amazon.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we're really seeing the privatization of all this bullshit. I mean, sorry, all these big companies doing all this bullshit. And it's not fun. And I don't know, just you know, if you do an audiobook thing or do one of the Kindle books for an author you like, actually go buy the physical book as well, just so you have it, so they don't have to change it, or they never get to change it.
Yeah. I don't like that, because no matter what you have in terms of your digital library, nothing's sacred.
No, it's kind of never been that way. You're always just like leasing it, really, until they change it or delete it from their service, and you don't have it.
Just buy the real deal, folks. Usually cheaper too.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're big proponents of physical media, because once you have it, they can never change it.
Oh God, that's the most important part of physical media beyond the picture quality. It's like this is your thing. No, MGM or Amazon or Disney or Sony, anybody, they're not going to be able to come into your house and steal your Blu-rays. That's breaking and entering. So you do have that. And I understand that people do think that the push to the digital age is for convenience and, you know, people can't have as much stuff. No, I think it's really kind of it is convenient, but it's like, that's it. It's an inferior version of what we have. And I don't like stepping back. That, to me, it's like watching videotapes now. It's like, what's the purpose? What's the point? I'm nostalgic for... Oh, yeah, that's an episode of the Spider-Man. They get a videotape, and they're going to watch Predator, and they don't know how to use a VCR.
That's
hilarious.
hilarious.
And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, why does this generation, or people that make content about this generation, think videotapes are fucking cool? They suck.
Dude, these are the same kids I've seen my niece do this. They want like the Polaroid pocket digital camera for their pictures. That's what they want. They have something way more powerful on like in their pocket on the phone, but they don't want to use that. They want to use this shitty little like 10 megapixel like Polaroid camera or Kodak camera or whatever. Like, it doesn't make sense.
What's the appeal of like intention? Is it ironic to use shitty technology? Is it like
they want to have that 90s look to their pictures? That's what they want.
They don't get the 90s. You weren't fucking alive. Get over it, kids. It was a magical decade. The 80s was a magical decade. I'm sure the 70s was a magical decade for some. But you know what? If you were, you know, post 9/11 and you were nostalgic for the 90s, get the fuck out of here, man. You weren't there. I can't be nostalgic for Woodstock. I wasn't even born for almost 20 years. Like, how stupid is that kind of shit? Oh, man, I miss the days of Polaroid film and videotapes. And no, you don't. No, you
weren't
don't.
alive. That'd be like me. That'd be like me sitting down, listening to Zeppelin, and be like, man, I fucking miss 1969. Be like, I was minus 14 in 1969, so I didn't miss shit because I wasn't around.
My mom was in grade school back then. Shit.
Yeah. So it's like, that's the weird part. Like, people getting nostalgic for shit that happened when they weren't even alive.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man.
But it's okay.
It fascinates me though, because I will enjoy things from well before I'm alive. But I have never once watched, like, we use SNL since we talked about it. I've never once watched like an old Chevy Chase episode and be like, man, 1975, what a fucking golden time. No, like that's the thing about these people. They're nostalgic for this time period. They want to go back and experience it. It's like, you would be really bored because the world has changed. Yep. There's not as much stimuli. Like, even when we were growing up 25 years ago, really, like, shit ended at night. Like, certain channels would go off the air. They'd go infomercial only. Not everybody had the internet. So you just sat around and went to sleep or did other shit. But, like, you didn't have this always online world that people have now.
For instance, right now, it is almost 9 o'clock here in the Pacific time zone, almost midnight where you guys are at. But even then, if it was, say, 9 o'clock in our times, whatever, the news would come on. And that's all it'd be on for like the next hour. So it's not like you'd be like, oh, it's okay, I can turn something on and listen to it. Yeah, the radio. That's all you had. You had the radio. You didn't have podcasts to listen to. And if you're like, well, I'd watch a movie. Well, really? Your parents had enough that you had your own TV and VCR in your room? Because that was a luxury.
You must be rich.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a luxury. Like, typically 2 TVs was about it, even in the 80s and the 90s. It wasn't until like mid-90s, at least for me, because I had grandparents that bought me a TV, and it was a 22-inch TV for my bedroom. But did we have cable? Probably not, because even if we did have the cable, it was only run into one room of the house, maybe 2 if you were lucky. And good luck getting Dad to put a splitter on there and spend his time on the weekend when he wasn't working to split it and run cable in the other rooms. However, when they got a TV in their bedroom, that's that's when you got the splintered ear because Dad was already working on it. So
Exactly. Yeah, dude. It was a whole procedure. Yeah, because it was funny because I think like 2 or 3 years ago, when I was in Gatlinburg at home, I convinced my mom to let me take all the cable boxes because we have internet. We don't need the cable boxes. We all have like Roku's and like shit like that now, so we didn't need them. So those were obsolete too.
Obsolete.
Yeah, but no, yeah. To your point, Jeff, it is weird how they're nostalgic for this time they've never been in, and like we lived through it, thank God, and we know how good it was.
It was fun. I guess what I'm trying to say is there is a lot of value in the modern world. Enjoy what you have instead of getting sad and lamenting what you missed out on.
Well,
enjoy what's there.
Better yet, instead of having a smartphone, go get a flip phone, and you and your friends go do that, and go get bicycles and run around the neighborhood. Go do that.
Get yourself a prepaid phone with minutes and charge 50 cents for the first text, and then learn the hell that is, I got my phone out. I accidentally hit the internet button, and your phone slows down because internet on a phone back in the day was garbage.
Yep.
Nobody used their phone for the internet. It's like, I'm going to text everybody. I'm going to do this. Why would I use the internet on my phone? It was like, was it 3GP was what it was?
Oh no, it was 2G. It was 2G. It was 2G back then.
Isn't
minimal.
3GP like the hold on, let me look that up. Yeah, it's not the thing, but it's like, what is 3GP? It's like a file or something on your old cell phone. Oh, yeah, it was an old. That's why your old cell phone videos look like shit. It's called 3GP. It's a file format for storing and sharing videos on old phones, and it came out in 2004, back when the camera phone was new.
Yeah, and you couldn't play it on your computer. Like it wouldn't work. You had to it only work on a phone. That's it. And the video quality was dog shit. It was like and the phones back then are I think 1.8 megapixel like cell phone cameras. Complete crap. It was terrible.
Now I'm looking up camera phones from 2006. God.
Yeah, dude,
we have evolved quickly.
Yeah, no, once the iPhone came out in like 07, like that was the main thing is like getting the camera megapixel thing bumped up as fast as they could every year. That's what it was.
Dude, that was a literal conversation I was having earlier today is because one of the kids had something and somehow it got brought up of a kid was talking about his cell phone. He was talking about his flip phone. He's like, you're jealous of my flip phone. I'm like, yeah, I had a flip phone once. It was like 20 years ago, but I had a flip phone. And one of the kids asked if I had the sliding phone where the keyboard would come out. And
the Sidekick?
No, well, I had the Samsung version of it where you had the screen with the little buttons and the stick, and you could slide it up to get the little, number.
Is it this one on screen? Is it the orange one?
Juke?
You had the Juke, Dion. That was your phone.
Juke.
You know I had the Juke, bro.
No,
when I met you were rocking the Juke.
Mine was the Samsung something or another. I still have it. It's back at Camp Kendo, but yeah, it was literally like a slide up type thing. And I was like showing them, they're like, you actually had that? I'm like, yeah. And you know how you had to actually text somebody? Is you wanted to write the letter C, you had to push the 2 button 3 times to get the C to come up. And they're like, oh my God, texting must have been so horrible. I was like, we were so good at it. You could send a text message just by pushing the keyboard without even looking at the thing.
Bro, I could drive my car and send text messages 100% accurate. I was like, brrr. I was really good with my little Nokia.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, and then when I got my first smartphone and I had like the Samsung Galaxy like swipe type, I looked like an idiot trying to do that. I couldn't figure that thing out for shit. But now I can swipe type without even freaking looking at it like I could with my old number pad.
Was it predictive text? It was called like A something. It had a weird name.
Yeah.
This is one thing people don't take into account. Remember though, like when we were in college, Dion, that was like the last time that happened because you brought up the iPhone. But remember what it was like? You would like go somewhere and everybody had a completely different cell phone and you couldn't share chargers because no phone had like a USB charger. They had like proprietary ones. It was really awkward how cell phones were right before the iPhone came out.
Oh God, one of the ones that I had that I loved, it was the LG NV with it like unfolded and had like the keyboard in the middle, like in the movie The Saint. It was like that, and that's why I loved it because you had a full keyboard and you could just type out all your text messages, and you had the other side that was just the phone side. But it was.
Or somebody would walk in the room and pull out their fucking BlackBerry, and you're like, holy shit. It's got a whole keyboard.
Yeah. My cousin a BlackBerry, dude. I made fun of him all the time. It's like, what stock options are you looking up on that fucking phone? What are you doing, buddy? Because
It had the little
anybody
stylus
who
that would pop out as like a Palm Pilot.
yeah, because anybody who had a BlackBerry like worked either for the government or for like some big finance,
Or
thing
they
whatever.
wanted to look like they were important.
That's true as well.
God, I'm looking at Barstool Sports. They got the top 25 phones of the early 2000s. And
Yeah, I'll send you this one ahead in the chat here. This is the
they
one
can.
that's-
Of course,
this is
the
email.
Razor was number one.
I had a Razor. I had a Razor for a period of time.
Everybody had the goddamn Razor.
Oh, dude, the Razor. Jeez, that fucking Razor.
You know what the coolest phone I ever owned was? Is I had the exact Nokia that was in the Dark Knight. You know that phone that he leaves in the Chinese tower and it like does the whole
Yeah.
sonar thing?
Yeah.
I had that phone and it came with a like Dark Knight special features on the phone. Like behind the scenes clips were like built into the phone.
Nice.
But it had the coolest feature I ever had on a phone. When you got a phone call, it would play a video, anything you wanted it to be. So I had Titantron videos from wrestlers. Like when I get calls from certain people, if you smell or the glass would break. That was the best.
Dude,
I miss
that was
shit.
that was back in the day where you could do that shit. You had ringback tones, you had your custom ringtones.
Custom ringtones was a huge fucking deal.
Yeah,
It
and
still is to
holy
me.
shit.
That's why I won't buy an iPhone.
You used to have to buy them, and then Zedge came out, and you can get them for free.
Oh, dude,
And
it was,
Zedge.
that stuff was great.
it was terrible.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
or you could get the call tones where if like you could set it when somebody calls you, you could play like songs and things like that. I had an ex-girlfriend that hated "Crazy" by Gnarls Barkley, so I set that as my call tone for a while. And needless to say, I didn't get a whole lot of phone calls from her after about a week. So
That's funny.
it
That's
was
funny.
awesome.
Taking a trip down memory lane was nice, but I hate to say it, for as nice as my nostalgic memories are, I'll keep this phone over any phone
I
I've ever had.
love this son of a bitchin' thing way more. If you're like, don't you want to go back and have that phone again instead of your new phone? No.
No,
This
nobody
this
does.
phone's
Nobody
great.
fucking
I
does.
Listen, you should.
I can do all sorts of cool shit with this.
That's true. Well, here's the thing: we can do that. They can't. We can use Google.
Plus, here's the difference. If this thing disappeared tomorrow, it would take a little bit. It would take some adjustment, but I could go back to the way life was before it and not have a problem. I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys as frequently. You would hear from me a couple times a day when I actually had time to sit down at my computer and pull up Facebook. Or we would just turn around and switch back to text message the way it used to be. If like somehow somebody came in and was like, hey, remember the cell phone you got in 2001, your very first, singular telephone? Yeah, here you go. This is all you got. As long as the text messages didn't cost 10 cents or 20 cents each like they used to, I would be fine. I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to go back to texting everybody because I definitely prefer texting people than talking to people.
Yeah, but I think Darian's message just said something funny, like his phone's been silenced, whatever. Yeah, it's funny because like every millennial, it seems like from 2009 on, our phones have been silenced.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear any kind of text. I think it's because I overdid it. Like in the beginning of the 2010s, I had like weird, funny like text tones. So I would have like stuff from Step Brothers or the Inception horn, and then I just got tired of hearing any kind of sound repeated over the day. So that is about as much as I can take.
Yeah.
I don't even do that anymore. My phone is on do not disturb pretty much all day because I don't even want to hear it buzzing. Because I'm one of those people, if I see notifications, I'm just like, I got to fucking check all these off because I hate seeing notifications on my notification bar.
That's me too, yeah.
So I could just put it on silent. I could. Or I could just put it on D&D. So I just do that. Just do not disturb. Leave me alone. I'll turn it on at night when I go to bed because in the event that I need to hear the phone buzzing. But other than that.
Hey, look, the next generation's excited for cell phones too, believe me. I can't wait till we get him his first...
His first cell phone that's also AR glasses.
Shit.
Oh, sorry. I think I got a scam email from MGM Data randomly appeared on my phone right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of those too. Don't worry.
Bullshit. Anyway, I've had a lot of fun talking about cell phones.
I know.
I'm sure you guys have too.
I know they have those paper white phones that are just like 6 apps. It's like GPS, Spotify, and then like text messaging and things like that. It has like 6 or 7 apps on it, and that's it.
I hate Spotify. Like I actually do. I'm a YouTube music user. I
Really?
feel it's a superior. Dude, I've paid for it. I feel like I should get it for free for bringing money. What'd you say?
Yeah.
YouTube Music over on this side too.
The old Google Music was the best app. Like, I'll actually sing its praises because it was like $12 or whatever you paid, but it had everything built into it. Your apps, or not your apps, your podcasts, your music. It was so much more convenient. I used to listen to us on there because it was so easy to find us. Now we're still on it, but it's just, it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still better than Spotify because you can use YouTube's music, like YouTube videos you can watch on there.
Yep.
So if a song doesn't have official release, YouTube Music will have it because anybody can upload anything to YouTube. So
I don't know. I've just been on Spotify for a long time now. I remember for the longest time I was on Pandora for a really long time, and then I switched over.
I just don't like the commercials.
Pandora.
Yeah, Pandora was good for a bit, and then I was just like, "What's this new thing? Spotify? Let me try it out." And I was like, "Oh, this is really good." So I'll stick with that for a bit. I'll probably change over to YouTube Music at some point.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to say? It's after midnight. We went a little long, but it was a lot of fun, and the audience was here for it. And more people keep rolling in, but people do have jobs in the morning. So, Dion, Nick, Kendo, this was a lot of fun. Anything else you guys want to say for episode 433 before we put this baby to bed?
Free Yayo.
Yeah, let's go home.
Yep.
All right. So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. I have 2 videos I'm working on right now. My take on the James Bond thing, which is a little more fun and thought out. And then Hasbro stock is lowering. The value has lowered, and, well, I'm going to be talking about that. So be on the lookout for those videos, and I'm watching that you guys like the other ones. So don't worry. I'm going on an Ollie's road trip. And this time, well, I'm going on Ollie's road trips. I've actually figured out logistically, my new goal is to hit every Ollie's for the channel so you guys can see all of them. There's 99 of them. So
Holy shit.
Yeah, but you can hit a lot in one road trip, so
that's good to know.
Well, Nick, you'll probably see me on some of them because some are down by you, and I'm not going to come visit to Ollie's and not at least call you.
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, definitely.
That'd be rude of me. I'd be a terrible friend.
Yeah, terrible.
But I'll see you in 2 weeks and we'll party it up. So, folks, thank you for watching. Until then, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
.com.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
My name is Jeff.
Hold on, we had a super chat real quick.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Darian helped me catch it from John Thomas. Sorry about that, folks. Or sorry about that, John. But my favorite barbecue is in Owensboro, Kentucky. Old Hickory, family run, 6 generations. Owensboro has a barbecue festival in May. Hold on a second.
Really?
Check this one out.
Okay.
Kentucky's not too far from us, Jeff.
Oh.
No.
And barbecue
festivals are always great.
Yeah, Owensboro. How far is it from Cincinnati? Let's look real quick. Because if that's a thing, I'm going for sure. I like barbecue a lot. It's my favorite food next to steak. It's only a 3-hour trip. I would make a 3-hour trip for some barbecue. Yeah, I might. Nick, if you make it up, we should stream it. If not, I'll just send you pictures.
No, I'm definitely going to be there.
By the way, I Googled cheap flights from Cincinnati to Owensboro. $2,882.
What the fuck?
That is not a cheap flight. Just drive it.
Yeah, I will drive the 3 hours instead of spending. It's still like an hour flight. Never mind.
What? Yeah. What the fuck? Why is it that much?
Yeah, because it's Kentucky.
Did you charter a private jet or something? What happened?
To get to Owensboro, it looks like you have to.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
John, thank you very much. I'm gonna have to check out Old Hickory because, like I said, I really do like barbecue, and there are some Ollie's down there. So maybe when I do my Ollie's road trips, I'll hit some barbecue joints. So thank you, John. Thank you to Darian217 for reminding me. I want to make sure everybody gets taken care of here on the channel. But folks, we're gonna get out of here. Here's another button for you right now.
Bracket, come in, please. Bracket, come in, please.
Who is it? Who's this? Hello?
Say again, what is it?
It's the FBI.
Where are you?
Man, you called us.
Get the hell back into town.
All right, look, man. All right, hold up. Calm down. Want to blow something up?